Wolfpack Wednesdays is back.
Boom! Too sweet, me brother.
I am your first host, the Jedi, next to my other host, DLO The Collector. What is going on, my friend? We already have 21 in the house, which is a good start. We must be doing something right.
Because everybody knows it's Wolfpack Friday, and it's just too sweet. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
If you guys are noticing, we are short one of our Wolfpack members. Brick Artemis couldn't be here tonight. Got family in town, 4th of July, hanging out with them. But I believe he is in the chat. So we just figured we'd bring two guests on to kind of compensate for not having Brick. We're going to miss him. He'll be back next week. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about Fennec Shand, but then just some deep, I think, Hot Toys topics. I want to talk about that stuff. If you guys in the chat have anything that you want to talk about, just let us know, and we'll talk about that as well. It's going to be kind of a loose show, which it always is. Got my beer. Turning my hat around.
Got my energy drink.
And a little crooked there. There we go. Got some sun on
Badass.
the 4th. So, yeah, we're ready to go.
Now.
We're going to just bring both of our guests out at the same time. Does that sound good?
That works. Let's do it.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome tonight's Wolfpack special guest, making his way to the stream, a YouTube superstar and friend of the Jedi Knights Watch. Please welcome
6 and the EvilSneakerr himself, making his debut
Never gets old.
on the Wolfpack Wednesday show. Welcome, EvilSneakerr. Marco's making history as well. A second Wolfpack show for you, I think, right? Yeah.
What an honor.
Nice. Rare
so
right there.
I'm honored as well.
Absolutely.
I love the intro, man. The intro videos.
Well, we spare no expense, right, D'Lo?
Absolutely.
We're both working 2 jobs just to pay for this stuff. But hey, if it's what the audience wants, it's what they get. EvilSneakerr, I want to just start with you. Thank you again for being here. But I want to ask you a question because I've been curious. So how did you come up with the name EvilSneakerr?
Yes.
What does it mean?
Yeah, everybody asks me this whenever they first talk to me on a stream. So EvilSneakerr's been my gamer tag since I was probably 9 or 10 years old. That was when I first started back in the OG Xbox days, System Link, house parties with Halo, all that stuff.
Sure.
So I just kept that name basically forever. So I've had it for over 20 years, and I feel like I just never wanted to get rid of it. And I feel like it's recognizable. People always can once you hear it, I feel like people can
It stands out.
People can remember it. So I think it's unique. So I just kept it. I thought it was cool, and I want to be a
so
kid
it's
forever.
sneaking around. It's not like a pair of sneakers.
Yeah,
Not wearing
you're
evil
I'm an
sneakers.
evil little I'm a kid, oh, I'm evil. Yeah, I'm sneaking around.
So you were a sniper.
It was so cool. It was so cool to be that
What a
when I was 10 years old. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not like a shoe, but yeah.
Gotcha.
Not
Well,
that
that's
unique,
good.
not that unique of a story, but
No, I like it because I was just wondering. I was curious. I'm because I'd like to know where people got their names from. If they're different. Like mine was obviously a big fan of Star Wars, but then at the time, Game of Thrones was huge. Loved Game of Thrones. Season 8 really put a damper on it for me. But I'm like, well, we have the Night's Watch, and then we have Jedi Knights. So why don't we combine them? And Brick and I both came up with this together, and we have the Jedi Night's Watch. So that's why if you guys look in the logo, it's actually Jon Snow holding a lightsaber instead of a sword.
I never put that
Yeah, I
together.
love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Sure,
it's Jon
today years
Snow.
old.
yeah,
Yeah, it's Jon Snow in there.
the Night's Watch.
But Marco, how did you get your name?
Yeah, so I came up with it in about 6 seconds. I was like, okay, what 2 things sound okay together? And I was like, 6 fix. Okay, 1 6 fix. It'll do. And I would go back and change it if I could, but I'm kind of stuck with it now. So, but I'm glad EvilSneakerr clarified because I was envisioning a demonic pair of Jordan 1s.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah, seriously, that's what I was going. I was like, oh, this guy's a major sneakerhead or something.
yeah, that's right. So either way is cool, but yeah, that was throwing me off for sure.
But I don't know. A name is so unique, and it you can't change it now, obviously, because it's that's how we kind of recognize you. But I always kind of bring up Optical 20. He said he talked about stories about how he came up with his name and it was never about Hot Toys or anything. But if you were to change it now, it's no, I know you as Optical. I don't know. It's just You become the EvilSneakerr and you become the Fix, and I see Marco's beautiful face when I see that 1/6 Fix pop up and stuff.
I like that name, 1/6 Fix.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's good. DLO, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing super. Thanks for asking. What about you, Graham?
I'm doing well. You can't really see, but there's a big
Oh,
box here.
boys, what a treat. What a treat he has
Man,
behind
finally
him.
did it.
Oh,
The DeLorean has arrived safely. It's here. I'm waiting for DLO to get his hopefully tomorrow, and then we're going to be doing
tomorrow.
a live unboxing for both of us. We're going to open this up together. So if you guys are interested in that, I'll definitely be setting that up, putting up a thumbnail. Still figuring out how I'm going to like set that up, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not really looking forward to putting it together live because I've heard it can be kind of a pain to do so, but it'll be fun to just hang out with you guys, get it on the table, get it set up. You know, I've been going back and forth on this thing for quite a while, so to finally have it, you know, we had to make a couple sacrifices, but I think it'll be worth it. So yeah, we're ready to go.
This is the first DeLorean for both of you, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
DLO's first vehicle.
Ever.
Oh,
First vehicle.
wow.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
do you count the scout bikes? Does that kind of count? I feel like it's maybe my second, right?
Are they accessory? Yeah.
You know, like my training wheels, but now I took them off and now I got a
There
big
you
boy
go.
bike.
That's
you know?
a good entry level vehicle, for
right?
sure.
I think that's entry level. But no, I built my module cases, gosh, almost 6 months ago, and that brown piece of paper on that one there, it's been I have been committed. I said absolutely nothing is there because I figured in my head, if I don't take that off, I'm not tempted to put anything else in there, and I forget about my goal. So I kept it on, and it's finally coming off, and there's a freaking DeLorean going to be in there tomorrow. So I'm excited.
Nice.
I gotta admit though, every time I see you and I see that brown paper still on there, it just kind of gives me the shivers.
What?
And just
The
peeling
shivers?
that
Why
off.
the shivers?
Just thinking about peeling that thing off is such a pain. I just
dude,
hated
you're very
that stuff.
traumatized by that. Yeah, that's true. You don't like peeling that stuff.
No, I don't. But
I'm gonna remember why I don't like it either tomorrow.
I was wondering why that brown that slot was unused. Like, I'm so glad you answered that question on this.
Yeah.
we're all
Stream,
learning
because I've
stuff
been
about
wondering,
each
like,
other
what is
tonight.
going on down there? But
Origin story of the sticker, but yeah.
That's right.
There we
So
go. And you get to
more
have that
either.
conversation with your significant other, like, I'm done collecting. It's finally done. I pulled off the brown paper, and that's it. Like, the collection's complete.
Whoa. We don't do that here, Marcos. What stream does he think he's in?
Oh,
Buy everything. I'm just kidding.
That's right.
So then you're sold on having it there. It's for sure going there, right, DLO?
1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%.
Because
I
I'm
gotta put the
Yeah, go
shelf
ahead.
on tomorrow. I gotta put the shelf on tomorrow. The half shelf I have there,
right.
and then everything that's Back to the Future shuffled over there. So I got an idea. I got some cool thoughts. I've seen I got some really good ideas from guys like Denobi who just put things from Back to the Future in there, and it just looks so awesome. So I just can't wait. I'm happy. I'm finally getting one.
I'm debating putting mine down here, and then moving a couple figures over to the 6, or because I don't know if you guys see the Batmobiles up here, but what we could do is we could put the Batmobile or the DeLorean Batmobile and then some other stuff, but I don't know. So I got to think about that. That's it's gonna be tough. It might go down here though, so we'll see.
You had a similar setup, right, with a few vehicles in a row?
Yeah, I got the Tumbler is down here and then the Batmobile up top, but I don't think I want to put it here just because I like my figures to be up higher. I don't mind seeing vehicles down lower. It's probably what Delo's thinking too. But it's probably going to change 5 times before.
I was just gonna. I didn't want to
on.
say it, but you said it first. It was this is gonna be worth 6 update videos in the future. I can just feel this
It's the gift that keeps on giving, really, for me, because it gives me more content. Okay, guys, this is what I did today, or this is what I'm doing next, and yeah. So,
you're a brave
well, let's
man.
check in with the chat before we get this show on the road. I hope you all had a great 4th of July. Really quickly, I just want to hear before I say hi to you guys in the chat. Highlight of your 4th of July. Mine was just getting together with family, smoking stogies, and watching fireworks. How about you, Delo?
About the same, pretty much. Yeah. Maybe a couple more cocktails than I like to admit, but yeah.
All right. How about you, Evil? Do anything fun?
yeah, I had a couple friends come in from from Michigan with their 2-month-old. So my 2 kids and then their 2-month-old in the house, and yeah, we are really, really good friends, my wife and I. So yeah, we had a great time. Good to see them.
Anybody go to a parade? We went to the parade as well.
Did not go to the parade.
No parade for me.
It was weird. Really quick before I get to you, Marco. So we went to the parade, and obviously there's fire trucks and military vehicles and police cars, and then, well, we're from Wisconsin, so of course you have to have like people on their lawnmowers that soup them up for like racing and stuff. Some muscle cars as well and whatnot. The band, all that stuff. But then I see this older military Jeep kind of coming through, and two people are pushing behind it, and it's like because it's not running, it must have broken down. And I'm looking, and my wife's like, "Is that Peter?" And that's her brother. He's back there pushing it. He's a veteran as well, and he was somewhere else in the parade, and he must have seen this guy like putter out. So him and this other guy are pushing this Jeep through the whole parade, which is like got to be at least 3 miles long. And just in the back, just pushing it. I'm just like, dude, like, hey, Peter. And it was just kind of a funny story. But parades, go to the parade if you want. Throw candy out. Marco, what was your highlight?
Yeah, so we had a little pool party. We didn't host. We went to a friend's house, had some family there as well, and then ate my weight in ribs and tri-tip.
Yes.
I think
You ate well. I had hot dogs, so yeah, you ate well.
Yeah, I was impressed. I didn't know that was going to be the spread, but once I saw it, I was like, I'm taking advantage of this. So.
Heck yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, it was a blast. I'm very depressed to get back to work tomorrow, but we got to do what we got to do. So
today was rough. The 9 a.m. meeting was not my sharpest for sure.
Yeah, and we didn't get home until like 11. So getting my kids to bed, it wasn't going to work to go to work today or have them go to school. So yeah, we kind of just laid low, but it was a lot of fun. So yeah, we have 41 in the house. Thank you all for being here and supporting the Wolfpack. Thank you for just following the channel. We love hanging out with you each and every week, but that means you guys being active in the chat, which I can see you're doing. But again, I'm going to say hi to you guys. If you got anything you want to ask, you want to talk about, this is an open show, very laid back. We have some topics, but I'm willing to sidetrack and talk about what's on your mind, I guess. So if you got anything, let us know. Otherwise, let's just check in and see who's all here. We got Andreas. Hey, Wolfpack. We got Mike Litteris. Let's do this. Always appreciate seeing Mike in the chat. 6 Scale Skywalker. Greetings, exalted ones. Hope everyone is doing well. Let's get this party started. Make sure to smash that like button. I do appreciate that. And we do have our brother Brick up at the cabin, watching probably on his phone. Appreciate that, Brick.
Back to the cabin.
Back to the cabin. He's been staying like the whole week there. I'm like, so how does it feel? Like you're just back? He's like, yeah, it's different, but the same. So we got Jazzy in the house. Hello, Jazzy. Action in the box. Greetings from Brazil. Doc back. Love seeing you guys all in here. Let's see here. Hey, Mike, Brick, Jazzy Action. DLO The Collector says, too sweet, me brothers. Good day, DLO. Let's see here. Let's make sure I don't miss anybody. We got Christian Cooper. What's good, guys? Just hanging out with you. That's what's good. We got Brick throwing up the signs. We got Conquer Knight. Nice to catch you live. Good to see you. I always love having Conquer in the chat as well. We got Reese. Stello, EvilSneakerr, the GOAT.
What's up, Reese?
The GOAT is here. We got Frank Flores. Hashtag thank Frank. What's up, boys? What is going on, Frank? Appreciate you. Love talking to him on the side as well. Yeah, this panel is almost too handsome. Almost. Almost.
Oh, never mind. I disagree. Definitely not almost.
Chris
sure,
Santos. We got the Raptors fan in the house. The Rusty Bronco. Hello, all. Daniel, what's up? Appreciate you being here. Good to see you too. Let's see. Austin Nicholas. We just streamed with him on Saturday. If you guys missed that, go back and watch that. He is here to support us as well. Thank you so much, Austin. He also did his first collection tour. So go check that out if you are so inclined after this show. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss anybody. You guys are chatting amongst yourselves here. We got Andrew James in the house. What's going on, dude? What's up, fam? What is good, my friend? Hope you had a good 4th. Leighton Richards. What's up, legends? We got Brian Fontaine in the house from the 6 Scale Scavengers. Hello, sir, and thank you for being here. Do appreciate it. Jedi 291, happy Wednesday. It's the best day of the week, if you ask me. We got Hayden Collects. Happy Wednesday. Glad to be back with you, awesome people. Milwaukee represent. That's what we're doing. What's what we're doing? We got EvilSneakerr, Universal Key. Good evening. Does DLO have the DeLorean yet? Not quite.
Tomorrow,
Hopefully less than
Brian.
24 hours.
Tomorrow. Tracking says tomorrow. We will see.
Uh-oh. I just got an email from Sideshow saying my Green Goblin just got delayed for months. Is it 4 months or 4 months? Like the number 4? So let me check that out.
Good question. Big difference.
Tighter FL. Yo. We got the movie canon. Decided to collect each iteration of movie Batman Hot Toys and just got my first one delivered today. Batman Sonar, Val Kilmer from Forever. Did you get it on the discount? Probably not. If you just delivered today, probably not. DLO hit that discount up.
Yeah, I
Got his
did.
Batman.
Absolutely.
You feeling good about it?
Yeah, heck yeah. Dude. I was hanging out with the family, had a hot dog in one hand and one of my nephews in the other hand, a little baby bouncing. I'm like, hold on 1 second real quick. But yeah, thankfully
Nice,
the
gotta get
baby was
Robin.
safe. And I got Batman.
So you got Batman and Robin, or just the Batman?
No. Just Batman for now. I'm waiting for that right daily deal to pop up on Robin there. So
There we go.
Smart man.
There we go. It'll come around for sure.
Right.
oh yeah.
All right, guys. Well, let's just start with the figure that was released this week. It was one that we kind of saw coming. There was rumors that this would be releasing, and it did. And I don't think it disappoints, but I want to get your guys' opinions about this. Sorry about that. This is...
I love it.
And someone's getting the hashtag early on.
I love it,
That
dude.
didn't take long at all. Okay.
I'm on the
Fennec.
opinion train for sure.
Yeah.
Fennec
Come back to me
Shand.
here. Come back.
Thank
to
you.
me.
I appreciate that. If we're going to pronounce it correctly, then we should say it as opinion, but we're not going to get into that again.
Never gets old.
46 in the house. Again, hit that like button. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you guys are ready for a great show. Really quickly, super chat in the house is Andrew James. Such a generous friend. I do appreciate it. Hate to be a party pooper and already did, but I gotta be up early. Had to show my support, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow, bro. Have a good stream. I do appreciate it. I know Andrew's on the East Coast, does start his job pretty early, so I always appreciate you stopping in, sir. Thank you so much. And this one is for you too, because I do appreciate it.
So, you've decided to step up to the plate and support the channel. On behalf of the Jedi Knights Watch, we want to say thank you so much for your contribution. Not only will it help us to improve the channel, give you great quality and entertainment, but it'll also help us take over the world. This one's for you. Thank you so much.
And now, what can I say? He's the man. I appreciate it.
You are a damn fool.
I love that video, dude. So good.
We've got Dante, the man himself, the man of Hot Collectibles, stopping by to say hello. Thank you so much for being here, sir. Definitely appreciate having the MOHC in the house. What's going on? Hope you had a good 4th. We're going to have a great show tonight. Let's see here. I got to wait. Rusty Bronco's talking about, he says 66. I got to see what this is about. Movie, I'm doing all the Batman as well. 66, 89, the Batman with bat pods and bikes. It's only money, right? Oh, no, dude, that's gonna be a sweet setup.
Only money.
My my prank villain is on the way. Well, should be shipping in a day or two. But that process, so that's coming. I'm eyeing up a 66 Batman on eBay right now, but to do that, I'm gonna have to make some moves. So I'm thinking about it, but no, seriously, like I got the Bat Pod with Batman. I got the 89 Batmobile with 92 Batman for now. But then when the Batman from 2022 comes out, definitely want to get that Bat Cycle, and I can see what he's cooking up here. So I think that's going to look really, really good. All right, but Fennec Shand, DLO. I know what you're probably going to say about the figure, so I'm going to ask something else.
You do you? Okay.
I remember when this was announced and everybody was all up in I don't know if Book of Boba Fett was actually like out yet. I don't think so. I think we were riding the waves of Mando season 2 still, but we knew Book of Boba was coming. I think.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was on this. Wants to get this Fennec Shand. You know, Mandalorian is awesome. I myself was like, yes, definitely want to add her. She's a great character, which she is. But I've definitely cooled on the fact of getting her with all the other stuff that's out right now. Plus, just Book of Boba wasn't great. Mandalorian, she wasn't in season 3. But I don't know, just kind of getting fatigued on those kind of lines a little bit. So my question for you is, do you think this is going to do well? Because, in my opinion, maybe yours is different. I do think the figure looks really good.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought it was going to be. You knew what I was going to say, because you're absolutely right. This figure is amazing. It's so good. I want it. I want it now, but I will wait. Yeah, I agree. Listen, I think you might be onto. I think we might have been still riding the high of season 2, and then Book of Boba Fett dropped, and well, the rest has been history since then. But overall, cannot take away from the beauty of this figure. It's absolutely stunning. In my opinion, I feel that this is actually surpassed. I love this.
Looks good.
I'm gonna my goal is to make everybody laugh at least once on this panel tonight. Just break all of you one by one. But in my opinion,
I laugh at everything.
I feel like this is actually stronger than the prototype was. I don't know if it's just the pictures just make it look a little that much better. It might be the same, but to me, I think it actually looks even better. I'm stunned comparing, especially after what we talked about last week with Ladies' Night that we just had. This is a little comeback for ladies. This is a little comeback for ladies after a few days. Here. Supergirl, not so much. Angelino, who? Fennec, yes. Yes. 2 thumbs up. It's beautiful. I want it. And I don't care about the fatigue from Mandalorian or not. She's coming home.
Okay. But when? Is this discount? Is this...
Whenever Sideshow sends me that email.
Which email is that? Hurry up. She's in your cart. Don't miss out.
Daily deal.
Once she's gone, she's gone. Daily deal. All right.
Here, discount. Take it.
Yeah, I agree. I think the head sculpt is amazing. This figure looks awesome. Look at just that the head sculpt's a 10. The hair detail's awesome. I don't know if that looks better or not, but Marco, my bargain bin brother. Do you think this one hits the bargain bin eventually? With kind of what I was asking about earlier.
Yeah, I honestly do think this one will end up in the bargain bin. I think it's, kind of around that time frame where Sideshow may have ordered, a fair amount of stock. I don't believe it's on waitlist already. So that's something that I'll have to verify, but I think she'll be there. So I'm struggling with this one because it's not something that I initially planned on getting. I appreciate the character. I thought the proto looked good. But it's one that I was like, I think I can live without having it in the collection. But it came out so nice. And I do have the Boban throne. It's obviously a companion piece to that. Yeah, so it feels a bit dirty not to get it, honestly. It's like,
Dude, can you imagine, though, having Boba on the throne with her sitting like this? That would be... does this drive up Boba on the throne sales?
I just don't know how many of those are sitting around, right? I just it could, but
is it waitlisted already, or is that still in stock?
Come on,
no, it goes.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was that one will be not too long ago.
Along with the 2-pack, that one will be around until the end of time. It feels like, but who knows? Maybe that'll drive a few more folks to go get that one. But yeah, this combo looks just so incredible that I'm really highly debating it, and I know I can get it. I can get one right now for around retail shipped. Do I just go for it now, or do I wait a little bit and wait for that bargain bin price? I think I'm going to wait because there's just so much dropping right now, but it's so tempting. And I know once folks start getting it in hand kind of over here, it's going to be like, do I want it immediately? So trying to fight that urge. But yeah, it feels like a losing battle right now. So we'll see if I can stay strong.
EvilSneakerr, I know you're a big Star Wars fan, and I believe all of your Hot Toys are Star Wars. Is this something that you're locking in, you're bringing home?
Yeah, I'm going to end up getting this one. I don't know. So, I'm in a conundrum right now with all the releases because it's so hard to tell what you're going to miss out on. The one that I missed out on recently was, the Clone Trooper, the standard Clone Trooper. And then after, like, since that happened, I've been kind of like crazy about what I'm gonna pre-order and what I'm gonna pick up, because I could see this one potentially, a lot of people picking this one up and it going quickly at some point. But I agree with what DLO said. I think this one looks better than the prototype, which is pretty rare for that to happen. Definitely for me, like, I also have Boba on Throne, which is, I would recommend that to anybody. That set is phenomenal. And this
Absolutely.
is like one thing about this figure in particular is that you don't really have to worry how you're gonna, like, how it's gonna fit into your collection if you have that piece. Like, for me, this is 100% getting posed with the Throne when I pick this up. So that's, I think, what's really nice about this is it complements another figure that I already have. In that case, like, I'll be picking this one up. If I was posing it alone, I'm not sure, but that right there, that's 100% what I'm doing in this picture. It just looks, this just looks.
Are you gonna do the
amazing.
fog machine behind it?
I don't have a fog machine yet.
That's down the road.
But maybe if I get into photography or something. But yeah, I think this is this is an incredible looking figure that I think I could see this one potentially, see this one not sitting around, depending on how much the hype builds once it starts getting people's hands.
Well, that's the thing. So, like I said, the hype for Mando, for Boba Fett's died down, but the character is well received, and it turned out phenomenal. Like, the head sculpt is, again, superb. So, is that enough to just make it fly off the shelves? Like, do you think people will still buy it because it's just so damn good, and whoever wants to jump in, feel free?
Yeah,
Does
I think
she
there's
wear
some
the same
appeal
outfit?
to this.
Sorry, D'Lo, go for it.
No, I was just gonna say I think we might be going the same route this year. If I do, my bad. But no, she does have cross appeal though too. Just keep in mind, this may be a Book of Boba Fett line. This may be considered Mandalorian, but also she just recently appeared in the Bad Batch as well too. So you have that part of the fandom as well too, who definitely, could see a reason to put her in their collection for that portion of it there. So it's kind of like Bo-Katan. I like Bo-Katan in that regard too, because you can put Bo-Katan with your Mandos, you can put Bo-Katan with your Clone Wars / episode, your prequel trilogy. So I think Fennec has that cross appeal to where, to Evil's point, I'm hoping for the deal selfishly, but there is always that possibility. What's surprising to me is that, Boba Fett from the show is already waitlisted and she isn't. So the question is now those people who have Boba Fett, are they going to go out there and try to complete that look that they're looking for by picking up Fennec? So it's a possibility. We're just going to have to wait and see. But, if she does, for whatever reason, sell out, it wouldn't be so surprising just because she can be put in different lines outside of just Boba Fett.
Does she wear the same outfit in Bad Batch?
See,
Yeah. It's like, if it's not exact, it's very, very similar. She has the same helmet and everything in Bad Batch.
Oh, terrific. Okay.
Yeah, I would say like another interesting thing with the Boba Fett is like this is based on like the end credit scene, right? So this like the end credit scene for Mando, I believe, right? So this is like, it's interesting that this throne figure is different to the one that's waitlisted for the show, because like there's little differences in the armor, right? I always thought that was interesting that this one's with the throne is sitting, but the waitlisted one for the show is waitlisted, or the one for the show is waitlisted. It's interesting. I just think like it's weird how they did that, but this one goes so well with the throne. I thought that was like an interesting thing that they did there.
And that's like the Boba Fett repaint, right? Because we have the bird poop Boba, but then the repaint.
Yeah, like the one for this on the throne is different. There's a subtle differences in the armor, I believe, from the one that's releasing actually for the show. Like there's two different styles for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why they did that when they were already hinting at the throne version being for the show. But I just think like that's really interesting. Like I said, that one of them is waitlisted and the throne has been sitting, when I would like, I'm not going to be picking up the one for the show. I want like the throne for me is the one that, I prefer.
Oh, that's a good point. I know you guys said that you're probably, Marco and Evil said that you're going to probably pose her with the throne, but would anybody, D'Lo, would you pose her with the helmet on, or do you have to have that head sculpt showing?
I've been asking myself that same question all day today, Graham. Honestly, I don't have the heart to cover up that masterpiece of a head sculpt. I don't like the idea. I don't know if I would ruin it, scratch out the paint job. I just don't know if I even want to take that risk. Personally, I think I would just rock it just with the head sculpt alone. Maybe have her holding it if I want to, but I don't
This
think
almost
it's
looks like
coming
a picture.
It's
really
It's
good.
that good, guys.
Actress
It's
likeness is
really
incredible.
that good. I don't. How do you put a helmet on that?
What's the price on this? Refresh me on that.
I believe
Too
275.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's around there.
It's not bad. I mean, it's tough though. I think the figures are beautiful. I'm just my priorities are changing right now. I don't know. It feels like maybe I'm just on the DC hype, I think, right now. But
The thing is with everything from Mandalorian, not to cut you off there, Graham, but the
Go
thing
ahead.
with Mandalorian is like I can get excited about anything that's coming out from Mandalorian. I really enjoy the show, but I'll be first to admit that I've gotten burned on every single figure that I've purchased from Mandalorian day one or whatever in stock because every single figure, as far as that I can think of so far outside of the newer ones, have already gone to discounts.
Right.
So, I mean, this is with every single figure in that line. Moff Gideon, Bo-Katan hasn't, not to my knowledge yet there, but all the ones prior to it, they've gone on discount and, they take a little bit longer to sell out. So if I'm going by the standard patterns, then this tells me this will eventually get there as well. But again, I don't want to say that with 100% confidence because I'm not. I'd say I'm about 90% confident that's going to happen. But there's always that chance that they're going to say, haha, that's what you thought, DLO. And everybody will remember this. You just, if you want it, pre-order it or buy it there. But me personally, I've spent so much money on the Mandalorian line. I need to catch a break and save some money on it. So I'm going to take the gamble and wait for a deal.
And if you miss out on the deal, there's going to be other ways to get it.
100%.
But you're right. The armor has gone super cheap. Transport Trooper has gone super cheap. The
IG-11.
Mandos himself, IG-11. They've all just gone.
Yeah,
super
that's how I got most of my Mando figures.
The
I
Scout
bought them all
Trooper with
secondhand
bike.
discounted.
Yeah, the Scout
It's
Trooper.
got
Yeah,
insane prices on those.
and that's a great way of collecting, evil, because then you get to reap the rewards, for being patient, and are there times when, maybe you didn't pre-order a figure and now like what's the last one, like Bespin Luke, pretty much going waitlist before he even comes out, so you kind of maybe whiff on that one, but for pretty much all the Mando, you're being rewarded for being patient and just sitting back and letting the market kind of come to you, as opposed to be like, I got to get it now. And I struggle with that too, because it's like some of these I like pre-order, the ones like that I can wait for, like I don't need right away. But a lot of them, when they come out and you see them like this, you're like, oh, I really want that. And it, Hot Toys does a good job at tugging at your heartstrings and making you really want it right away. But patience is the key. Does it always work out? No, but I would say lately, most of the time it does. We're seeing every day Sideshow has daily discounts, different figures every day, sometimes the flash sales or whatever. So, being patient is definitely, I think, a key to the game that maybe wasn't that way when I entered the hobby. You had to kind of pre-order still, and it was just kind of a different ballpark. But
I will say, though, she lives in kind of a weird world because, yes, the Mandalorian line has gone into deep discount, but in terms of Book of Boba Fett figures, I think the KX Enforcer droid is on waitlist. I think the Boba, as EvilSneakerr said, is on waitlist. I think Cad Bane, at least one SKU is on waitlist. So
yeah, Deluxe is on waitlist.
There's just a few months separating them. So, this is maybe like around the time that Sideshow stopped ordering so many, but maybe they ordered a little less than normal on this one. So it's really hard to tell.
Yeah,
I wish we could get like batch numbers or like
be nice.
It'd be nice if we had some sort of information, like you knew this was going to be a smaller batch or this was a larger batch, or I mean, we can kind of guess when it comes to like Batman or like these side characters, but it would just be nice to like have that comfort of knowing. Like, DLO, do you think Hot Toys, like if they told you like this many in the batch, more people would pre-order, or do you don't see it as like a business thing that they would ever do?
Well, I think one part of your question is what I would like them to do, and the other one is exactly what they are doing. yeah, I mean, I would love for them to say, hey, guys, we've got XYZ amount here. Go for it. Then the reality is, well, they don't do that because they don't make as much money that way, at least
True.
on their side of things there. So it's kind of a catch-22 with those guys because we went through small batches and then eventually things went up high in price in the secondary market and they became quote unquote grails and we came back for them and, Sideshow, Hot Toys saw that and they did reissues. So it's kind of it's a tough place to be as a collector when it comes to Hot Toys, Do they make small batches and please us as collectors and making our stuff more valuable or do we collect and then eventually wait for the 2.0 to come out eventually over time, So
Right.
if they did do this though, I will say if they did label the batches there and gave them numbers there, I think that would go a long way into healing the community and get more people buying Hot Toys again though.
And pre-ordering, if they want to
pre-ordering
know
exactly, and pre-ordering too.
what they're gonna have.
I think like one of the issues is like once they do that, like that's what people are gonna expect for everything. And like Hot Toys already right now, like their track record doesn't really show them communicating a lot to the community. Right. Unless something really crazy happens, like this 29.9 figure. I know like that was something, but like once you start communicating, from a business perspective, I just don't see like them doing something like that. Another interesting thing I just want to touch on real quick with this waitlist situation, like Ahsoka was one for like Ahsoka from The Mandalorian was one that went waitlist and like she went like out of nowhere went waitlisted. And now I'm seeing her already pop up for $50 to $60 under retail. Like you can get the deluxe rather easy. So it's so hard to tell right now, like, okay, things go waitlist. Like, okay, are you really truly going to end up missing out? I feel like, like what figures are going to end up like I said, I brought up that Clone Trooper that is going for a high price right now that I'm not willing to pay. So it's like, what's going to happen with all these figures that are going waitlisted? Are people just going to end up selling them off if they have them for a short period of time? Like this, like Fennec, I could see this being a figure where, people pick it up and then want to dump it off to get something else because she's not really a main character. Another main character comes along.
I could see that too.
They want to pick up this other main character that drops. Like the Batman you guys always talk about, you're waiting for. Oh, the Batman comes out.
They have a right to talk about that.
Might want to pick that one up. So I'm gonna sell Fennec.
No, it's true. Like there could be a lot of figures coming out like more heavy hitters towards Christmas time or something, and then we might start seeing this one be up for sale because something's got to go. We've seen it so many times before, where people are selling figures that are still in stock, and well, A, nobody wants to pay retail for something that's used. And then B, it's just, the market just hasn't been what it's been. So a lot easier to get a deal. It's tough to say what this will do. Yeah. The fact is she's still in stock, so you can still, get her. And again, like EvilSneakerr said, just because something goes waitlist on Sideshow doesn't mean you can't, there's plenty of other avenues to go to get these figures. It's just a lot of us like going through Sideshow for the peace of mind. It's in the States and stuff like that. So
it's a good healthy attitude to have, right? Because Sideshow wants us uncomfortable. They want us to panic buy. So if you kind of take a step back,
they want us to panic buy. They want us to panic buy, but then they do all of these BOGO and daily sales, and you're just like, well, I'm just gonna wait for it to go on daily sale. If it doesn't, well, then I'll just go somewhere else.
That's all the shit that they're trying to get rid of, right?
Right? Yeah, they've trained us to be like this now, and to not pre-order, and because like DLO, I've had plenty of conversations with Brick about this, where I'll pre-order ones that I know for sure I want, like Peacemaker and Mantis. I knew those would probably be like smaller batches, and I really needed those figures. And I think both are actually waitlisted.
They are
right now,
technically.
We'll see. Maybe it's a good move. But then, like, the fact that you pre-order and you pay in full price, and then 3 months down the road after release, it's already hitting 10% or 15%, or you can find people are already moving off of it on the buy, sell, trade or something. So then you're like, whoa, damn. That really sucks for me.
Think about the other day when I picked up Sonar Batman like 2 days ago on the daily deals. Not only was Sonar Batman, which is still a fairly new figure, on that list, but what was also on there that I was very surprised to see, and I'm surprised I didn't hear a lot of people talking about it in the community, the quarter scale Book of Boba Fett.
I saw that.
That just came out
in the world.
That blew my mind. I was like, wait a minute. It literally just hit stock, probably more recent than Batman, but yet it's on this daily deal today. So that's why it's so hard, like as a collector, to like really feel confident about your purchase, unless like Graham says, you're absolutely 1,000% sure it's coming home, whether it was on sale or not. That's great. That's one less problem, one less figure to think about. But all those other ones that are, really appealing, you're kind of on the fence on. It stinks when you're wrong. It stinks when you're wrong and you didn't go with your gut and you said I wanted to wait and you didn't because you bought into the hype, and then it pops up on Daily Deal 3 weeks later, right? Something like that. It's a crapshoot. No one's an expert on this stuff. We're all just doing our best to be educated with our guesses. I'm just trying to figure it out. I mean, Hot Toys is synonymous. Once you think you have it figured out, they'll change the game. That's kind of their kind of their deal. So, yeah, buy at your own risk, I suppose.
Yeah, it's smart. Like I think honestly, it's smart to me. It's a smart business move for these things to start going waitlist, because then it makes you want to go pick. Like if you're worried about them going waitlist, you're going to find another avenue to get it potentially. Like there's some that have gone waitlist on Sideshow, and I've gone to other sites and pre-ordered because it's a figure that I was potentially waiting on. But if it's going to go waitlist on Sideshow, there's a potential some of these other sites are going to go to. So usually, like I'll try to, if I know I'm going to get that figure, then I'm going to probably go try to pre-order somewhere else before they all go. But like you guys said, this is the conundrum that I'm in, and like I feel like we could talk about this all day because it's just so hard to tell.
Well, let me ask you guys this. Are you okay buying a figure that you really like, and then you pay full price, but then 6 months later it goes on like freaking 30% off? Does that bug you? Are you okay with that? Because, for example, I paid full price. I think full price. Maybe I got like $10 off for the Batman Forever, and now he's $60 cheaper with free shipping that you got. So $80 cheaper. Does that sting? Does it make you not want to buy figures, new at retail, or do you not care if it's something you want? Doesn't bother you how much you paid and how much somebody else is paying? I'll start with EvilSneakerr.
I would say if it's something that I really want, I'm gonna buy. I think of like some of these upcoming figures that I have pre-ordered, like this, like Kenobi Vader. If I buy that and I get it when it comes out and 6 months later it's on sale, that's not going to bother me. First of all, I've been waiting for this figure to come out. All these figures take forever to come out anyways. Waiting 6 more months, like that in and of itself sucks, just waiting 6 more months. $60 to $80 for waiting that much longer, to me, like I would rather have it. Because like at that point you're talking about, you could be waiting a year and a half already, 2 years for the figure, waiting another 6 months. Like it's just at some point, it's like that's not something that's gonna bother me if it's a figure that I'm already like day one want to purchase. That's kind of no issue for me there.
Honestly, that's what bothers me the most, I think, about pre-ordering through Sideshow. It's not necessarily paying full retail. It's knowing like, and that's why I say like I'll pre-order figures that I don't need right away, but like you could get them a week after they release from Hong Kong, or it could be 6 months after. And I just hate not knowing. Yeah. And so like Wonder Woman 84 just got in stock at Sideshow, and that thing came out I think in January. I think that was released in January. The DeLorean, I just got mine today, but that came out in I think January as well, actually. So a couple figures that took forever to just come out, and that's what bothers me the most. But Marco, what about you? Do you mind paying full retail, knowing a figure could hit like 30% off like 5-6 months down the road?
It definitely bothers me when they go on discount, but I feel like it bothered me more when they first started going on super deep discount. I'm thinking of Moff Gideon as one that, like I thought, oh, maybe this one will sell out, and then all of a sudden, he's going to the bottom of the bargain bin. It's like, it made me look at that figure a bit differently. But I've tried to divorce the way that I look at the figures versus what their current value is, because as EvilSneakerr was saying, like it's just I try to get figures that I just want. And so I try not to think about, the price I'm paying. If I normally don't order through Sideshow unless I absolutely have to. So if I'm securing a pre-order or if I'm purchasing a figure, normally it comes baked in with a little bit of a discount, no sales tax, free shipping, or, like $5 shipping. So, if I can get a deal in that range, then I'll feel okay about it. And, some of these are just going to go lower, and that's the fact of life. But as long as I have the figure that I want and I'm not kind of waiting around even longer for it, then I feel comfortable. So I think I've really gotten out of that mentality.
What about you, DLO? I know it bugs the hell out of you.
It does. It does. It's no secret. I've said it multiple times. I mean, I'm listening to these fine gentlemen. I'm like, oh, that's nice. That's nice. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I don't like it at all. Stop it right now. You know what I had to do to get that extra $20 to pay this figure off? You don't know the things I did. But no, I'm joking. I mean, I will say this here. Like, I kind of actually already said it. So, I mean, if it's something like you got to have. I was talking to Shane, 1/6 Figure Focus, and when we talked on his Visions episode, like, how do I categorize like what I want? Because I want everything, right? Like everybody else. So you see it, you fall in love with this here and whatever. But the reality is, like most people, I can't afford everything, or I don't want to pick up everything or pay for everything. So, for me, I kind of break it down. I told them I stole Cold Stone's like marketing. You guys have Cold Stone where you're from? Everybody? Cold Stone?
Yeah, we do.
So, yeah.
The creamery, right?
Exactly. So those in the chat who do not know, Cold Stone is a ice cream parlor here in the States here. It's okay, ice cream. But what I always got out of my visits to Cold Stone was like their marketing, how they put their flavors and their serving sizes together. So first one is Like It, which is like a small, right? Then you Love It, right? So that's going to be the medium, and Gotta Have It. That's the largest one, right? So for me, I kind of stole that and kind of use that as like my breakdown of how I categorize level wise, how much I'm interested in a figure, how much I want it. So, for the Batman, if I had to pay full price to get it, and because it might go waitlist, the potential's there, Gotta Have it. So it can be a pre-order for me. If it's a Moff Gideon, which unfortunately I can't even follow my own rule on this one here because I paid full price, but it'll say it was Moff Gideon, right? And it was like, I like it. Okay, I'll go pick it up eventually or something like that there. But in the heat of the moment, I gotta have it, so I bought it, right? So for me, it's just like, if I'm able to in here funnel out what I absolutely need to have, I don't care about the price. I really don't, because even if it does hypothetically go on discount, well, I have the figure in hand. I'm not waiting for the sale, and that's true. And that time is very, very valuable to me too. I've been fortunate to enjoy this figure longer, so I feel like I kind of paid a little premium, which is basically retail these days, but I paid a little premium to have it first, kind of the way people used to do day one releases and stuff like that. So I don't mind it. I really don't. But I mean, if it's a figure that I know better, I should have waited. You know better, D-Lo. You shouldn't have done that. And then it goes in discount. That's the one that pisses me off, because I'm not really mad at the discount. I'm really mad at myself for just not being patient.
No, I hear you. And I kind of look at it that way too, where I'm like, oh man, like I could have gotten it like for $60 cheaper. But then I'm like, but dude, you've had it for 6 months. And you've gotten to enjoy it for that long, where now you would have just been getting it now. So what, you paid $5 per month to have, like, I kind of like do that in my head so I can kind of justify it a little bit. But it's true. I mean, it's true. Like, is it really that big of a deal when you save this much money, but you've gotten to have the figure for that long? So great insight from all three of you gentlemen on the panel. I want to just go back into the chat, catch up with you guys here. Mike says the only reason I'd consider picking her up is because she appeared in the Bad Batch. Unfortunately, Book of Boba nearly ruined the character for me, though I do like her and the actress a lot. Well, and that was one thing that stuck out to me, was I felt like in Book of Boba, she was really outshining Boba, and he was kind of a buffoon, and she was saving him all the time, which is great for her. But I don't know, just I really liked her in Mando season 2, especially where Boba gets his armor back. I thought that was a badass episode with her and Boba and Mando himself. So I think that's what I kind of remember her for more. But Brick says, let's be real. Is anyone using the helmet with that head sculpt? Nice to have, though. Yeah, I mean, I could see myself putting it on here and there, but yeah, not much. Tider says, it seems to me that everything is going waitlist before it will reach discount now. At least the releases I track Star Wars. Most of the discounted figures are older releases.
Very true.
Very true. So, I mean, they're trying to correct the market. So they're probably doing lesser batches. You know, pretty interesting that Bespin Luke is already waitlisted for both DXs. Mando Luke is still in stock for both of them, I believe. But yeah, the Bespin surprised me, and I know my local comic book store has a few of them yet, so I'm kind of itching to maybe try to make that happen as well. So, because I do want I want that Bespin Luke. Because who knows? I mean, they could remake Return of the Jedi, but outside of that, I mean, are we really going to get like an Empire Strikes Back Luke anytime soon? I don't think so. Maybe Battle Damage. So I don't know. Who knows? Battle Damage.
Who knows what they're going to do? Who knows?
Brick says it doesn't bother me if I absolutely love the figure. Worth getting him for a few bucks more to have him earlier. I agree, and that's why people used to, buy these figures across seas, day one. I've done it. If it's only like 30, 40, 50 bucks, I'll consider doing that if it's something that I really want. But I'm not going crazy with, spending $100 to $200 to do that.
Now that seems like a non-starter though, because, Sideshow's getting certain things earlier. And also if these go on deep discount, you're maybe paying double for that figure. So even if you enjoyed it for a few months, is it worth double?
That's true.
Normally not, right? That's a whole other figure you could have.
That's a great point.
Right. Yeah, I've done that. I think my Wonder Woman 84, I got day one. I think Ahsoka, I got day one. But, it's probably like 50, 60 bucks more. And that was with expedited shipping. So, yeah, but if you're going crazy and you're spending that kind of money, to each their own. But
can I just bring up one thing too, Graham? That Marco, you had brought up like you don't really buy a lot from Sideshow. Like Sideshow is not my go-to because Sideshow, some of these discounts on Sideshow when they drop these 15-20% off, after you calculate shipping and tax, I can still get it cheaper on some of these other websites where there's no tax.
Very true.
And the shipping is usually cheaper than Sideshow because a lot of the times Sideshow will just do this like flat rate shipping no matter where you are. It's like based on the figure. So like I don't really go to Sideshow unless it's like something that like it comes with something that I feel like is exclusive to them. But otherwise, like you can save. Like I usually save elsewhere rather than go to Sideshow.
I think what I've been doing more is just doing, because it's been helping me spread things out, is the payment plans for a few of these figures, just so I can secure them, pay them off. Like Peacemaker's almost paid off, and that should be dropping soon. But outside of that, I don't really just go on and buy a figure really on Sideshow. I mean, yeah, unless it's like a crazy deal, but otherwise it's eBay, Toys Buying Agent. Got the DeLorean actually from Comic Concepts because we had the 10% off code, no tax.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we got a sweet deal on that DeLorean. And that's kind of what pushed me over the edge to get that. Really quick, I want to say hi to Calvin, a.k.a. Low Key Collector. Calvin, how are you, my friend? Let me know. Let me know which week you want to be on here.
Say when.
Kick Marco off.
You're out of here.
That's right. Give the people what they want.
We got Bad Boy for Life in the house. If it's something I want, it wouldn't bother me.
No.
We got 6-scale shenanigans in the chat. Haven't seen this guy for quite a while. Doesn't bother me because it's better safe than sorry. No, that's true too. Like again, if it's a figure you want, secure it, get it. Even for me, doing payment plans. Don't know when it's coming out, but at least I know I'm going to have it. It's going to be paid off. So good to see you, my friend. Payton, how are you? Casca Reeves is rumored to drop tonight. I did hear that as well. It was Big Breda told us that it was tonight or tomorrow, right, Marco? Said tonight or tomorrow night.
I think so, yeah. That's one that's maybe in the like it or love it. It's definitely not the gotta have it for me.
I agree.
No, I'm a gotta have it. I'm a big Sasha Banks fan from wrestling, so it's a gotta have it for me. So sorry,
it's awesome man. Too.
If it's $2 it's for me there. So yeah, she is coming home.
Support
as well.
the ladies.
I might get Casca before I get Fennec, if that does happen. For reasons.
What about did you get Axe Wolves?
I did. I wish I waited. I wish I waited.
I did.
I think you guys like the segment should just be do the opposite of DLO.
Right.
I preach all this like guys.
No wonder he's
strong.
It's so hard, man.
Yeah.
No, we should hype him up to get all the figures so we get him on discount when he sells them. So go get whatever you want.
Are you seriously going to gaslight me on collecting? Wow.
Of course, come on.
That is not the scavenger way, pal. You know better than that.
It's a cutthroat world out there,
Oh, it's a cold world, baby. Dang.
Jedi says, cool. Bespin Luke DX24 just showed up at my door. Best Wednesday ever. Well, yeah, because you're watching us and you're probably playing with your DX24. So perfect night for you.
Sentence.
DLO, take that hat off.
Never.
You forgot the Austin size ice cream, kid size.
My bad. That's on me. I forgot about that one.
All right, let me see here. Yeah, let's see. Yep, stop gaslighting.
They're having their own little powwow in the chat.
Yeah. Thank you for stopping in, Reese. Have a great night. Hopefully we do see you soon here. Yeah, payment plans is the reason I use Sideshow.
That's a great reason. Use your resources.
Yeah. Andrew, howdy to y'all. Well, howdy to you, sir. Thank you for stopping in. DLO with the ladies.
Ooh, part dose.
So since we're kind of talking about like how we feel about buying a figure and like if it, goes big discount, like kind of a bummer. But so I kind of want to just go into this segment. We've done it once before. It's called Pardon Me My Mistake. So seeing as though we're talking about this, what's a figure that you guys purchased? Doesn't have to be on Sideshow on discount, but maybe it was, and it goes like on super discount, or maybe it just tanked in value like shortly after that. What's a figure that comes to mind where you're like, damn, that was a mistake. Like I should have waited. Like it just cratered. I want to start with EvilSneakerr here.
Oof.
I know I'm bringing this up just kind of off the cuff. So.
Yeah. I would say most recently for me, I don't think I've really gotten burned. I've only been collecting since like October last year. Like granted, I got a lot of figures, but I bought a lot of them used. The one that I would say probably most recently though was like that Mando Luke Deluxe that I bought, and I actually got it like on Sideshow at like a little bit of a discount. But they're already dropped. Like I got it, and then a week later I saw them dropping on these groups for $60, $70, like $260 shipped. And it's like, yeah, that's what I would say. Probably, yeah, that's the one that comes to mind, because I don't think I really have had any situations as of yet where I really got burned. But that's the one where I would say, yeah, I wish I would have just like, I wish I would have waited maybe a little bit longer on that one.
Before you guys go, I'll give you an extra minute to think about it. Mine, for me, I've gotten a lot of figures on discount. I haven't paid full retail except for Bo-Katan, Ahsoka, Wonder Woman, and those aren't really hitting discounts yet. So, but if I go back further towards my rookie days, I bought that Nightmare Batman before it was announced for the 2-pack, and I paid top dollar for that. And it bugged me, but it didn't like rip me up inside. I was just like, well, shit, that sucks. But yeah, so that's the one though that comes to mind that sticks in my head is like that it just kind of cratered like just a couple months after I picked it up, and I kind of knew that would happen. That's why I held off on buying C-3PO for so long too for Sideshow, because I was telling people, I'm like, as soon as I buy this, I know it's coming out. So because that's what's gonna happen. It's Murphy's Law. And but yeah, the Nightmare Batman, I just loved it so much. It was in my first year of collecting, I think, and I had to have it. And yeah, shortly after that, it just cratered. I think it lost half the value at least. It was going for $600 on eBay, and then I think after that it was like $250, $300 after that. So it was brutal. But outside of that, I mean, there's been figures that I've bought on discount that then I tried to move and I just couldn't move because nobody wanted them because the value was tanking. But it's not like I paid the retail and then tried to move it. So Marco, how about you?
Yeah, there are two that come to mind that were pretty early in my collecting game, and this is going to date my collecting here, but the Punisher War Machine and then also the homemade suit Spider-Man. Two figures that I really love that are still in my collection, but I bought them full price from Sideshow. And those are ones that in my mind, I was like, this may sell out. I don't know. Like, I don't want to miss out on these. I'm pretty sure both are available at very, very discounted prices to this day. So several years later. And I think I learned my lesson the hard way that, just because a figure is beautiful, just because I really want it, doesn't mean I need to rush out and just go pay full retail to get it. So I think that kind of helped me be a bit more disciplined. Like, okay, well, I saw this like completely tank. And again, they're not figures that I regret purchasing, just at the price point that I initially purchased them. And as I mentioned, like I try to not think about that anymore. It's like, okay, I've got them in the collection. I'm going to have them and enjoy them on the shelf and not think about how much cheaper I could have gotten them for. But, it's always in the back of your mind for sure.
DLO, are you going to bring up the one I think you're going to bring up? It would make sense.
Probably. All right.
To the rescue.
There is only one right answer for any collector who is collecting at this time and when this was released here. I'm going to set the scene for you guys.
Hold on. I have to make you like full or something here.
Oh, you could if you want. I don't care. It was the summer of 2021. Sideshow sent me an email. Blue screen. Almost sold out. Everybody on Facebook freaking out. I'm on vacation. I'm on a beach, barely getting signal, and I submit. Finally get figure. Feel good about myself. Wasn't sure if I wanted it or not because I got a figure that was just like that one, and I like that one a lot more. But I bought it anyway because of FOMO. Fast forward, the figure is delayed a gazillion times at Sideshow. I don't get that figure for maybe another 7 to 8 months afterwards. By the time I get my shipping notification, I've been informed by Hot Toys that they will be making a chrome version of this figure.
Oh, boy.
That is far superior to the one that I've been waiting for, that I wasn't even sure if I wanted. That was on blue screen, supposedly almost sold out, but still there today.
That's a long time.
Durasteel Mando. I fucking hate you so much.
Was it Durasteel or was it the best car?
I'm sorry, Beskar. No, I love Durasteel.
Okay.
Sorry.
I love
Durasteel's
worth it. Full price to
Sorry.
me.
I was method acting and I got too deep into it. But
Oof.
gosh, yeah, that one hurts me to this day. That's probably my biggest one. Not because I just felt like I got lied to on that one.
No,
Sideshow pulled the whole blue screen on me. I was like, all right, I don't want to lose out on this here because at that time blue screens were actually a real thing. Not like a haha sucker. Wasn't one of those back then. But yeah, it was just that was a super painful lesson. That definitely changed how I approach collecting and purchases there. Pre-orders pretty much complete halt at that point. I was so upset with that there because, it's been talked about thousands of times over, but I mean, that blue, I know they already announced it and released it months ago, but man, that didn't deserve that. That was the DX19 before the DX19. That was a slap in the face to collecting at that time. So I still have that figure in my collection in a box now, not in display.
Ooh.
Can't give it away like a lot of people.
It's kind of a gross figure when you really look at it. You're just like,
well, I now have the chrome one, which is, I can't even ignore like how much better it is.
You have a speeder bike, like the or the swoop bike?
No, I thought about doing it. I know where you're heading with this evil, but I can't.
Got to get that. Got to get that swoop bike on discount and put it on that, man.
That's
what I'm doing.
I don't want to look at it.
I can't even do it.
Oh, come on,
I had
man.
it too, and shortly after I got it, they announced
the new one
Chrome, and I was pissed too. And ever since they did
got
that,
the
I didn't even
swoop
want to
bike-
look at that figure.
If I got the swoop bike, I feel like the terrorists win. You know what I mean? It's just like there's no way I can't put more money down on that there. Like no, I'm not gonna give you more.
Yeah,
for screwing me.
that's a really good point.
You know
what I mean?
he's
You're
Not going to pay more
like
for
he's
something.
Hot Toys
Yeah,
here.
yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
absolutely. I couldn't do it. I can't do it.
Man,
So
this
it is
really
what it
did. This
is.
really did mess you up, bro.
Traumatized.
It did. It changed everything. Now, like I'm skeptical of everything. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, it's waitlisted. Really, Sideshow. Let me look at 40 other websites. Still there.
That's right. That's
Nice
right.
try.
Yeah, you
But
and
yeah.
many other people, DLO. I mean, we're feeling that way because that was a slap in the face. I remember that too. I'm like, that's a little soon. I'm like, we just got this, and now I don't even like it because this looks really cool. And then
You know
you
what's
see it
the,
everywhere, and then you see it on Sideshow
was
all the time, like a constant 15% off. And you're like, I just don't want to see this anymore.
Yeah.
But what kills me is
Not
like I
gonna
wasn't even sure if I really wanted it. Like I didn't pre-order it. I pre-ordered the Durasteel one. I love that. That's my favorite version of Mando, in my opinion. I think I like it more classic Mandalorian style armor compared to the shiny. Shiny is growing on me, but Durasteel still supreme in
He
my
looks more
opinion
like
there.
Boba Fett.
I love that Durasteel.
Right. I mean, I love that first episode. That scene in the cantina when he just angles his pistol and just blasts that guy, and then that whole first episode I was sold on the show. I wish they kept the armor a little bit longer, but I wasn't even sure I liked the Beskar armor enough to buy it. And it was cool. Yeah, you got Baby Yoda at the time, which was a big deal. Now there's like Baby Yoda in every figure, So, but at that time, you get him in the prim. It's still a good value. But yeah, I wasn't sure if I wanted it. I got the blue screen. I panicked on vacation, thinking I can't lose it while I'm on vacation. I bought it. I waited like for months because we got hit with such a bad delay with COVID with those shipping times. That like it took 8 months after I paid it off to get it. And then when I get it, like literally a couple days later, Chrome announced. That was a tough day.
But here's the silver lining. I bet you enjoyed your vacation that much better when you thought you secured it. When you're like, click, I got it. And then you enjoyed your vacation, right? Maybe not. Okay. Well, yeah, that's good.
The
It's
Beskar
always
is really, really a good holder for the head, though, right? You can modify the neck piece and then take the chrome Pedro Pascal head sculpt, put it on the Beskar. If you really wanted to take it out of the box, just a free idea for you.
You could
appreciate that one.
DLO's not
the suggestion box.
DLO's not gonna put it in that buried
Delete
that
it.
suggestion
No,
box.
I had the
feet on the
transfer.
ground.
That's a nice image.
Thanks. No, I kid. No, I have the Pedro Pascal and the Transfer Trooper. It looks badass. So
there you go.
I'm good there.
Perfect.
I'm just gonna pretend it never happened.
Yeah. Another figure that I think about, like talking about this, is like that 2-pack, the Boba Fett 2-pack that I see for going on these groups going for like 290, 300 ships.
But you know what? That's one that I don't mind. I bought it full retail. I love that episode. I love Boba Fett. And I was like, you know what? Good for those guys who got it. But
yeah, I've heard that that's a lot of people said like that was the like figure of the year candidate. Yep. But I have like 3 Boba Fetts in my collection right now, so I'm like,
again, it's just kind of watered down. Like Hot Toys is giving us all these variants, but then it just kind of waters each one down. And
yeah, do I want 5 Boba Fetts in my collection right now? And there's all this other stuff dropping. I don't know about that.
So that's the tough part. But yeah, it's always good to talk about our horror stories when in collecting. Huh? All right, so before we hop off of Fennec, the one thing that I noticed from this shot, you're gonna have those double jointed elbows. You're gonna have some posability on like Bo-Katan and the armor and other figures. So that's gonna be really nice. You're gonna be able to get her into some good poses with the articulation. So any final thoughts that you gentlemen have on Fennec?
Other than what's already been stated, it's a wonderful figure. It came out fantastic. This is not a figure that lacks anything as far as like appeal. It's really a desirable looking figure. So I think anybody who puts it in their collection is going to be very satisfied one way or the other. So
yeah, Graham, you brought up the pose. Sorry to interrupt you, D-Lo. I was just going to say you brought up like the posability, like for them to nail this outfit too and still have like, I feel like a lot of intricate outfits don't have great posability. Like for this one to have the posability that it does, considering like how intricate and like cool looking her outfit is, I think like that's another bonus for this one.
Marco, any final thoughts?
No, I think
you're all getting this, right?
Eventually,
or Marco, you're still iffy on
still
this
on the
one?
fence, but the more that I see it, the more it's going into the gotta have it bucket. I'm gonna just keep stealing that deal.
Ooh, gotta have it bucket.
It's like
wonder where he got that from.
That's right.
Go me some ice cream.
It's like not a. It's like not a product.
Aziz.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
The whole skit that Aziz has on Cold Stone Creamery. Anyways, go for it.
I do agree that Cold Stone. I thought you were gonna say like Cold Stone is amazing ice cream. I do agree. Like it's just okay. It's kind of overrated to me. But
I've never heard of Cold Stone.
Yeah,
really?
There's better. There's probably because in Wisconsin you can get some like amazing ice cream at local places. You're never gonna go to Cold Stone.
Sneaker, you go to Cops?
Oh yeah, for sure, bro. Oh yeah. Oh, you can get some just amazing ice cream around here. And burgers. They're obviously like, yeah, I've had their burgers many times, but
it's good food.
Good food. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, it's like, this is turning into like a gotta have it gotta have it figure, and it's like not really a main character. I think
I love
like,
how you guys are embracing this.
gotta have it, dude.
Of course.
So like this just I feel like to me it shows how well done this figure is when it's like going in towards the gotta have it, when it's not even like we're not looking at an iconic huge character here and we're all like
It's
you know
saying something.
drooling over this figure. Like that's for me, that's why I'm probably gonna pick this one up sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and for me, I'm definitely interested, which I thought before I just had no interest. So I'm definitely coming up there with you guys, but I'm gonna wait and see and see if she goes on like some sort of discount, maybe towards Christmas or something like that. Maybe it'll be like a Christmas present to me from somebody. So I'm gonna be patient and wait on this one. If I miss out, I miss out. I'm okay with that. But I think you can't go wrong with getting this. I know Striker 47 says it. You know, pre-order this badass queen. He did pre-order this badass queen the day she was available. And if anybody wants to do that or pick her up right away, I see no problem with doing that because she is beautiful. So let's see. Yeah, Brick says Sneaker will order this figure by morning.
He has no faith in you, buddy.
No,
It's not on my
you
pre-order
wait till the
list.
afternoon.
It is not on my pre-order list, but like, man, yeah, now we've been talking about it and it's coming out. Like, yeah, there's a possibility I might be ordering this within the next couple days. We'll see.
Yeah, don't do it tomorrow morning. Don't give Brick.
No,
the
I'm gonna
satisfaction.
sleep on it 2 nights at least.
Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. Well, outside of that, you know, if Costco Reeves comes out tonight, you know, that's something else we'll talk about. But for now, I mean, that's kind of it. You know, last week it was really like the Supergirl discussion was going crazy, but it
brutal,
seems like
brutal.
you know things in the community have kind of cooled down a little bit. So I want to talk about some stuff that's been on my mind recently because as collectors, we're all in different stages, right? EvilSneakerr, you just started in October. Brick Artemis just started, or a little bit later than that. DLO, you've been collecting for 7 years. I can't remember. Marco, you've been in the game for a while. I've been in for 3 years. So we're all kind of like at different stages. You know, we have like some other people have been collecting since the beginning that have huge collections. And I think sometimes as collectors, we can feel maybe insecure about our display when we're talking with other people. Like maybe last week we had Justin's collection on, and you know, I have like 60 figures and he's got 600. So it's like, I think sometimes we think we almost don't belong with other collectors because we're not at the same point of the journey as they are. So my topic for you guys is, how many figures do you need to be considered a collector? And again, this might be kind of an open-ended question, but I want to discuss it. So, you know, depending on how many figures you have, how quickly you're collecting or how slowly you're collecting, like, can you still be a collector and only buy one figure a year? You know, can you be a collector and have 20 figures, but you can't be buying for the next 2 years because your kid's in daycare or something like that? You know, like, how many figures do you need to be considered a collector? What do you guys think? What pops in your mind? We can just bounce this conversation off each other and see what we come up with. And you guys in the chat, you know, give us your opinions as well.
Can I rant here really quick? Because I just don't love sometimes when there's gatekeeping that occurs in this hobby. And folks say, you know, you need X amount of figures to be considered a real collector. So I'm going to go with a really thin number. I'm going to say either 0 or 1 figures. I think your collecting journey really starts when you, in earnest, are considering purchasing that first figure. So whether you've had the tab open for a few months or a few weeks and you're like really close to pushing the button, I think that's when you're like actually a collector, because you are in the process. You're probably, you know, reading up on it or listening to podcasts or whatever you need to do your research. So for me, the threshold is pretty low, and I think for the most part, this community is pretty welcoming to new folks, and there can be some of that gatekeeping, but I don't feel that it's as bad as other hobbies that I've seen for sure. So I'm going to just say, 0 to 1 figures on your way to becoming a actual collector.
That was probably the nicest rant that I've ever heard, but coming from one of the nicest
a
guys,
lovely
Marco, it doesn't surprise me. So he's like,
That's
"Can I rant?" I'm
on
like,
brand
"Oh,
for me.
Lovely
Yeah.
rant.
You know,
Pull up Supergirl though, and then we'll get it.
I'm sorry you guys have to see Marco's temper like that.
Yeah.
yeah."
No one call the cops, please.
No, I think you're onto something. I'm kind of getting to the same thing where, you know, some people, we all have different lifestyles and at ways of collecting, and we think differently. And I guess the big question is, can you have 1-2 figures and be a collector just as much as somebody that has 100 figures that's collecting at a quicker rate? And I agree about the feeling pressure from other collectors about not collecting as quickly, or not going at your own pace, because end of the day, this is an expensive hobby, and if we're trying to keep up with other people just because of what they think of us, we're just going to get ourselves in trouble. And I think you got to be true to yourself and to your budget, and take care of yourself and your family. So, DLO, how about what comes to mind with this? What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is a great question. And Graham, I think we should rename this segment "Asking for a Friend." But yeah, he's like,
I like that.
He's like, yeah, asking for.
No, I like that.
You're welcome. That one's free.
That's
next
why you're
one.
here.
Next $1 million idea. All right. But we'll renegotiate after next season. All right. So this one here, you know what? I'm really with Marco on this one. I kind of hate the gate. Well, not kind of. I do hate the gatekeeping, because, you mentioned that I've been doing this for 7 years, but do you know how long it took me to buy my first hot toy before I found out about them to when I actually made the first purchase? It took me 5 years. I found out in 2000 in something, 2010-ish or whatever like that. And then I watched from afar, admiring, the photos at Hot Toy. I follow Hot Toys on Facebook, and that's a cool looking figure. Oh, that's a cool looking figure. But truth be told, from when I found out about Hot Toys to when I can actually afford to get Hot Toys was a big difference from when I was actually, financially stable enough to do that. So, so yeah, it took a while. I mean, then when I finally jumped in head first, there was a lot of people who were just like, yeah, I'm going to get this one. This is a dopo for me, and blah, blah, blah. And, in the beginning, good old deal. I was just following everybody else's lead. Oh, they're getting it. I'm going to get it too. And so forth. Then fast forward, those people in the community are not here because they never bought the figures that I bought. So now I have this huge collection, which I don't regret. I wanted to do this here, but when it came to like, oh, cool, you must have got what I got. Oh no, I didn't get that figure. Well, didn't you say in the comments you were going to go ahead and pick this up? This is day one. If you don't buy it, it's crazy. Yeah, I just, I decided not to. So there's a lot of boasting in the community when it comes to this stuff here. And some of us even pretend to have more than what we really have. And, I think, quite frankly, to kind of add on to Marco's answer, I would say similar today. I would say at least one. I mean, you go from an observer to a collector by one. And by one and being active, and again, by active, that doesn't mean you have to get your next one right away. It means you're researching, you're admiring other people's, you're doing your research, you're watching YouTubers, and you're looking at the reviews and stuff like that, and you're projecting what your next move is going to be and which figure is going to be number 2 for you, and so on and so forth. I think if you're active in the community and you have at least one, you're a collector. That is bottom line how it comes out, in my humble opinion there. Anybody tells you anything less than you're not, don't listen to them. You're just as important as the guy who has 1,000 or whatever you're there. Okay. You're a collector. Welcome to community. And that's where it should end right there. No one should judge after that, period.
Right. And well said. And, we've done community displays, and I like it that people send us small collections along with the big, shocking collections, because again, you guys are just as much of a collector as somebody else that has a ton of, figures. And, you don't know everybody's circumstances. Like, I can't remember who it was, but they're in college. Shit, I can't afford Hot Toys in college. I can barely afford them now. So, props to you for having 5 figures, in college. That's amazing. Riley, young man there, and what he's doing is, props to you for doing what you're doing. But EvilSneakerr, do you agree with these guys? What are some thoughts that you have?
Yeah, I agree with you guys as far as like, I think more it's like, to me it's like more about the journey, like as like for how this stuff goes. Like, it's hard to put a number on it, but I would say, yeah, if you have one figure, then like you're starting your collecting journey potentially. And I think one figure means a lot. It could mean different things for different people. Some people might only be able to get 1 or 2 figures a year or one every couple of years. I think like the pandemic is also a great example of like, I know a couple of you guys said, I think Marco and Graham, you said you started collecting like into hot toys into the pandemic. Some people I'm sure probably didn't collect throughout the entire pandemic because they either didn't have a job or like finances changed for them. I wouldn't just say like, oh, okay, those people aren't collectors at that point. Like for me, I started like a little bit about me as far as collecting goes. Like I started with Star Wars Black Series. And then like, you know, I had basically every Black Series figure. And I was like, oh man, it's like crazy having this many figures. So, and then I sold all those. I was fortunate enough to be able to get a lot of figures in a short period of time because I funded it with that. But I wouldn't call myself any more of a collector than anybody else. This is a really good question. It's like philosophical in my mind from thinking about this question. But yeah, I think it's more the journey, and I love seeing posts. Like I like how you guys do like the, you know, show your collection like from the community, but also like there's always a post every once in a while that comes up with somebody saying like in the community, like, you know, I can't really collect a lot of figures. It's hard for me to save up, or it's hard for me to, you know, I really have to choose wisely. Like this is a figure that I've wanted for X amount of time. To me, like that's like, I love to see that, like just the passion for wanting to collect. And I think more so what separates it for me too is, you know, you're always going to come across people who like, oh yeah, like I'm sure you all know people who watch the movies and shows that you're interested in, but they would never ever consider collecting. I think the moment you cross that bridge of, okay, I'm going to like pick up some type of memorabilia, whether it's, you know, a figure or something else. I know we're talking about figures, but once you cross that line of like, oh man, I'm going to get like this figure from this medium because it looks cool. To me, like you're a collector at that moment. You're starting, and where it's going to go from there. Yeah. One is enough to say that like you started. And like, I'd be curious to see like how many people just have one figure who are collectors. I know it's like a different topic of conversation, but for me, it'd be really hard. Like, oh, you get one thing. Like I would want to like, you get the urge to kind of expand. But yeah, I would agree with you guys that, yeah, gatekeeping in the community sucks because like, yeah, everybody's going to be different. Like I just feel fortunate enough that I can fund this hobby for myself. And I would never really judge somebody based on the amount of figures they have. I think that's kind of foolish.
You could argue that somebody that gets 4 figures a year, so 1 a quarter, it's more special for them than somebody that's getting one every 2 weeks or something like that.
Very true.
You know, it's just more special because you're only getting that certain, like it's that time, you know, I'm getting this figure and it's one I've really wanted. Whereas, you know, other people are getting a figure and a figure and a figure just becomes, I mean, there's still that, like that high we get and whatnot, but, and that joy. But yeah, you could argue that it's almost more special for them. And I know when I was young in my YouTube days and I just had the 4D toffs and I had one figure in each one, I was kind of like, well, are people even going to really care? Because I'm not really as much of a collector as somebody else because of what I have. But I think you guys have said it best. It's your journey. And that's kind of what I've created this channel for, was my journey, but also obviously to hang out with people like you and share it with other people. So I never got into it to, you know, be a job or anything like that. So if that ever would happen, you know, that's just kind of a perk on top of it. This is just for fun. But, you know, I think there's different seasons of collecting too. Like I'm going through a different season this summer where I'm scaling way back due to other circumstances happening. So maybe somebody collects 4 figures a year. The next year they're able to do 10. The next year they got to cut back to 2 because of, you know, house projects or, you know, whatever. There's no, you know, you don't have to stay consistent with collecting. If you do 1 a month, you don't have to keep doing that if it's not working for you. You can cut it down. You can speed it up. You can get none for 6 months and then get all of yours on the back half. So, you know, what do you guys think of that? Like, not really like staying consistent in the game, but not staying consistent with when you're buying figures or how you're buying figures. Do you believe in like seasons of collecting and changing it up if need be? Because it's better than tapping out.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's just a natural ebb and flow, right? You only got so much space. There's only going to be so many funds. Certain times you may want to sell a figure, but the market may not be there. So you might just enjoy what you have for a little bit. So I think that's going to be completely natural. And maybe there's a whole year where you only get just 1 figure or no figures, but you still have a robust collection of the things that you like. So yeah, I see nothing wrong with that. And I think it's completely natural.
I think that's like the smart way to go about it, honestly, in my mind, because for me personally, I would hate to not have, getting so out of control with it where something was to happen and I got to say, wow, I got to sell off 10 figures. I don't ever want to be in that boat either. So like you have to, I feel like, tailor your collecting habits towards some of that stuff too. Like for me, like, yeah, daycare cost right now is like one of the big killers for me. That's like, yeah, exactly. I shiver at the thought.
More than my mortgage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got 2 kids. Like,
and my mortgage ain't cheap.
Luckily my wife is home for the summer, but like when they're full time in daycare, any other time, like, yeah, it's like having a second house payment. So it's like, yeah, that's like you have to think about those things. Yeah, Graham, you also, one more year. Yeah, nice. Another thing you brought up too is like starting out, like, is that was kind of my thought too when I first started out. Like I had planned on coming on YouTube for a while, but I was like, do I do like a collection video? Should I even do it? Like I have module cases on order. Like I really want to just wait till I get those. But then I was like, I'd rather do a video now and see kind of where it progresses from here and see the journey of how things go. Like, I think for me, that's important to kind of see. I want to be able to look back on that and see that type of stuff. So I think like the seasonal collecting, I think that's a great way to do it.
I think at the end of the day, it's simple when you really think about it here. I mean, in sports, there's an off season. There's an off season for most things, period, that you're into. Whether it's your favorite TV show or whatnot, there's always an off season to this stuff here. And the unique thing about what we do here as collectors is that there is an off season too. It's just some people don't think to look at it as an off season. The first one that probably everybody knows, at least by now, if you've been doing it for long enough, is like around right after Christmas. You have Chinese New Year and all that stuff there, and there's a severe drought at that time. That used to be the time I go back and find figures that I might have missed out on, figures that maybe this past year that I couldn't either financially or whatever reason couldn't get that figure at that point in time I want to. Now I don't have anything to worry about because it's not going to be releases for a few months, and I can go back and see if I can find a score deal. And there's income tax season, and you get a credit. Whatever, however you do your stuff there. But Hot Toys tends to drop a lot of stuff early second quarter. First quarter is dry. Third quarter is around the summertime for everybody. So I mean, we're getting drops now from way back when. They're catching up there. And then, there's going to be another drought right around the early first part of the fourth quarter. And then eventually we get hit with a whole bunch again. So it comes in waves. And if you guys, when you're here long enough, you start seeing that pattern there because there's only so much Hot Toys can do. They can announce as many as they want, but they're not going to be dropping 50 figures a month on you. You just got to learn to understand, to see the pattern of it there. And then eventually you'll pick up on it and you'll pick your shot. And that's kind of how it is after a while there. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where, I mean, if you need a break, there's plenty of times to take a break during that quote unquote season there. And if you want to take a longer one, take a longer one. The hobby will always still be here for you, regardless of when you want to pick it back up. That's the beautiful thing about curating a collection. It's never ending to that point there for you. So
right.
if you need to chill out because it's overwhelming, there's way too much out there to pre-order, and there's only so much you can do, no problem. Take a few months off. The hobby will be there. Somebody will sell something at some point. You just got to pick your shot.
Yeah, I hope people that maybe are getting overwhelmed with the hobby would take a break before they just decide to like get out, because sometimes it's just that, even for me, like, it hasn't happened actually as much lately. I've been having a ton of fun with you guys and doing this, but like,
he met me. That's what he's trying to say. He met me and his life changed.
Yeah. But in the past, I'd be getting burned out, and I just felt like couldn't keep up. YouTube was was something that I had to do, and because now I'm in it, and I'd take a week where I didn't come out with a video, and it kind of rejuvenated me to kind of come back and get kind of rededicated to it. But I mean, lately it's just been like, I've been just enjoying it. I love talking about these topics with you guys, and it's a lot of fun. So I just hope people would, if it is becoming overwhelming or you're not sure you can hang with it, take a break, or like DLO said, buy a figure every month or every other month, or something like that, so you can kind of pace yourself. Find what works for you, because just because it works for me doesn't mean it works for DLO or Evil.
Find
or
your
Marco.
rhythm.
Right.
Everybody has their own rhythm when it comes to this. That's the key thing. Don't use my rhythm, because you won't be able to hang with my rhythm. Not because you can't, but it's just that it's mine. It's
Sounds like
mine.
a threat.
No,
Damn.
for you, Marco, it is. Don't you try it, okay?
Come on now.
Mister, like,
Don't
I'm gonna
mess
steal.
with
You
my
gotta have it. No, but I mean that sincerely. Like, listen, I know we all love this community. I know we all watch these streams, and whoever your favorite personality is on there, don't mimic them. Be the first you. Being you will keep you sane in this crazy hobby of ours. And more importantly, the last thing I want is for you to see my collection and say, like, I got to catch up to DLO. Don't do that. Don't do that. Collect at your own pace, collect at your own budget. Enjoy this. Don't feel like you have to compete with anybody with this stuff here. So, yeah, if you need a break, there's nothing wrong. I've taken breaks. It may not seem like that because eventually, I wind up picking up anyways. But, I take breaks. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I need to take a second. Oh my gosh, what's going on in the community today? Some crazy conspiracy against us collectors, or whatever the topic of the day is that we're going to yell about. You know what I'm talking about. I don't have to say it out loud, but you get it. So disconnect, reset, rethink your strategy, and go with it. You'll be fine.
I think this day and age too, that's more important than ever. Back 7-8 years ago, there were 50 figures a year maybe, and now it's double, triple that. So I think it's more important to take breaks or to pace yourself and just hold yourself accountable, be disciplined more than ever, because it's a dangerous hobby if you let it just kind of go down that rabbit hole. And I'm guilty of it as anybody else. I'm not above it. I've struggled with it. It's half the reason why we talk about some of these topics on the show, is because I need the therapy myself. So definitely more important now than ever. I need therapy. So
saying that for
let me check in with the chat, see what you guys think about this topic. Jedi says, I've been collecting for about 3 years now, and I have 57 figures. This guy seems like he's on pace with me. It's very expensive hobby, especially here in Canada, as we have to pay duty, shipping, and exchange to the US dollar. Yeah. So that's tough. But I bet you have a great looking display with those 57 figures. That's nothing to sneer at. And I've seen YouTubers do polls like, how many figures do you have? And I think a lot of people actually had like under 20. Like, it's not like crazy. Like, I guess when I first thought about it, it'd be like 100 or something like that, but it's not actually that many. I just bought a Death Trooper Black Chrome from Sideshow Daily Deal. What do you think about this figure? I saw that today on the deals. I wanted the original for the longest time, but then again, I think it was more of like, he looks cool, I want him, but now I'm being extra selective, so I passed on him. I do think I would prefer the original, but I think that one's pretty cool too, that chrome. It's not black, it's more of like a bronze. So I think if you're okay with that, you're getting a good deal. But what do you guys think about that figure?
The prototype was definitely a black chrome. I saw it at Comic-Con and I was like, oh, really into it. And then when the final pictures got released, I felt a bit duped. And so that's not one that I ended up pursuing. But I think ultimately, if you know what you're getting into, like you just said, Graham, then I think it's a really cool figure. It's a unique, and it's nice that they've got the extra shiny version, but not black chrome for sure.
Yeah, I would say like this wouldn't be my definitive Death Trooper that I'd be picking up, but I mean, if you think it looks cool, that's like, and you got it on a deal, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. Nice. It was readily available. You got it on the deal. Yep. I think it's a good score.
It's like, another thing is like, to me, the my favorite Death Trooper is the Specialist Deluxe, which you're just not that's the best. Like, that's one of my favorite figures in my collection, but you're not going to get that thing for a Sideshow Daily Deal, obviously now. So, I'm not big on like the variant paint jobs on figures. Like, I like kind of like the screen accurate stuff more. Like, I don't really care too much for like the chrome stormtroopers or clone troopers either. I probably like wouldn't pick those up, but nevertheless, like, I think Death Troopers are awesome, so getting it on a deal would be good to me.
The one chrome figure that I got that I like better than the original is the armored Batman. And DLO thinks I'm crazy for that, but
Because you are.
it looks so cool.
You are.
Look at him right there.
Hmm.
It's badass.
As long as you
All
like
right.
it.
All right.
Yeah, as long as you like it.
That's all that matters, to be honest.
Death Trooper's
man.
awesome. Death Trooper's an awesome figure. I
Except
would say.
that figure. Except that Batman.
Except
Except that
I think I'm
Batman.
sure. Yeah.
Mike says, yep, took me years to really start collecting, but that's mostly because I moved every year in my life since I was 18 and never lived in the same place
Very
for
true.
more than a year, so collecting was impossible. Mike, did you get your shit out of storage yet? Gotta get that set up, because I know last time I saw him on a live, he was still all in storage, so gotta get that going. Collecting madness. At the end of the day, it's a marathon, not a race. Enjoy the journey. We all have our reasons why we collect, and some go faster than others. And something that EvilSneakerr said too was he wanted to wait until he got the module cases. But I am so glad that I started when I did. I learned a lot from when I started. I got my DTOFs. I was so happy. I had Hot Toys, Funko Pops, NECA all in there, and a lot of collectors say that's a big no-no. But it was part of my journey, and I just saw like how I evolved, and we went to just Hot Toys, then we added another DTOF, then we got the module cases, then we changed to DFs. It's just cool to go back. I wish I would have actually started filming when I had I think I had 12 figures on a shelf like D Knight has. And I have a couple pictures, but I don't have any like video documentation of that. So that's actually a video I want to do coming up soon, is just like going through my history of collecting and just look at how I've evolved over the last 3 years and where I'm at now. So agree with DLO that if you have one and are exploring options for the next one, then you are a collector. How many figures is too many? Well, none.
None.
No, that's
Any more than one is too many, probably.
Brick says once you decide to get a second one, you're beginning to be a collector.
interesting.
But I think that kind of goes with what you guys said, because you got one and now you're plotting. You're deciding to get that other one.
It'd be so
I mean,
tough to only
you're
get
active.
one figure.
I mean, you're
Right.
active. As far as that point, you have your one figure and you're doing your research for the next one. You are active as a collector. You just haven't
Bingo.
purchased the next one. That's all.
You are making a unique decision if you are getting an action figure or a figure of something. Like that is not just like you got to be you got to be considered a collector at that point, right? A lot of people aren't doing that.
But I miss those beginning days. Like those were the
Oh,
good old
yeah.
days where I was like so stubborn. Like, nope, next figure's got to be this one here because it goes. Like I enjoyed like that. I mean, I've enjoyed my entire journey. Ups and downs. Don't get me wrong. But the beginning is special. It's so special because you just have that good-hearted like love for what you just got, and you can't wait to have a companion or the next one to go with it. Or oh my gosh, I really love this movie here. Let me see if Hot Toys made a figure for this. Oh my God, they did. Yes, I want this one too. So I mean, for me, I just feel like I missed the innocence of collecting when it was simple. There wasn't anything extra. I didn't know about the politics and everything else that we somehow created in this weird toy hobby of ours there where we have a jury and all that stuff, whatever. But yeah, man.
Executioner.
Right, execution. That's Brick, by the way. But
He'll
but
kill
yeah,
you.
it was just the beginning was just so fun. And it feels like so long ago now, but I mean, I wish everybody would just take a moment to think about how they started and why they got into the hobby in the first place and really try to hold on to that as long as they can, because the longer you do this, the more you see, the more influences you have around you. It takes away from the purity of how excited you were when you got your first figure. And I wish we could hold on to that as a little bit longer sometimes.
Wait, can I
Well, I
show
feel
you?
like-
Can I? Sorry, go ahead, Graham.
I was just gonna say, as a YouTuber, I feel like I have to nitpick and I have to find things so that people can, I'm not just sugarcoating it and saying, "Oh, it's great." But like as a beginning collector, shit, like that was all I saw was the good. Like I didn't even see the nitpicks or the bad. Like you just love that figure, and yeah, maybe we need to get back to that a little bit more. But I feel like as a YouTuber, we kind of do have to find that other side of the coin, just to be honest with the people watching. But go ahead, EvilSneakerr.
I just wanted to show you this figure that I keep on my desk. This little,
on.
I don't know if that's in focus. This little one of these Power of the Force figures.
I used to
Hell
collect
yeah.
those as
This
kids.
is what
I
I
had
keep.
that.
This was the figure that I took to kindergarten actually, and I kept him forever. And
That's
I keep him
awesome.
on my desk as a reminder of the collecting journey, I guess. I hope I never lose them. And I hope my toddler doesn't get a hold of them.
That's cool.
But
Cool.
that's what made me think of that. You know, that's kind of makes me think of this conversation of like the collecting journey, right? And just like where I began was like, yeah, that figure. There's not a lot of kids that were taking those figures to kindergarten when I was in school, but like, yeah, something that like made me think about that when you brought that point up.
Good stuff.
Awesome. Six Scale Skywalker says quality over quantity always. That's, you know, something I try to tell myself too. Like when I'm looking at a figure, almost like Fennec, like she's beautiful, but is she really what I'm targeting right now? You know, do I just buy her to buy her because she looks great, or do I stay focused, stay selective, buy what, you know, holds a higher value in my heart? And I think that's what I try to do. And again, not saying that she's of lesser quality, but to me, there's just something that I want more. So like to somebody else, she might be what they want more over Batman or something like that. So, you know, it's definitely quality over quantity. But yeah, as long as you're happy and enjoying the hobby and it brings you some type of joy, peace, then keep on keeping on.
Well said.
Christian says, I was looking at the Hot Toys tumbler. What's your guys' thought on it? It's cool. It's big. It's hard to display. I have mine on the DF down below. You can't see it. But I was actually more impressed than I thought I would be when I got it out. And I did do a review on it if you want to check that out. But, you know, I thought it's just black. It's matte black. There's really nothing sticking out on it. But it's got a lot of like brass pieces. It does have a lot of like character to it. So if you're a fan of the Dark Knight, I would suggest getting it. And if you can obviously display it. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
So no, I agree. Perfect world, I would have it, but space is always something you're contending with.
I want one.
So EvilSneakerr, are you strictly Star Wars or?
So like the majority of stuff I have a couple figures that aren't Star Wars. I have the Inner Joker Deluxe 2-pack that I have yet to open. I'm not going to open that. Well, I've opened it and looked at it, but I'm not going to display that till I get my Module cases for sure. The other Hot Toys that I have is the like the exclusive stealth suit Cap from Endgame, because Cap is my favorite Avenger. So I really wanted that one because I really like that suit. This is another reason why I've kind of slowed down recently, because I'm going to venture out probably. The next one that I'm probably going to venture out with is Carnage. And I have not seen the movie, but that figure for me is like, I need to watch the movie. I've seen the first one.
Figure that a lot of people want.
That figure is like,
I'm loving it.
Yeah. I'm going to end up probably having like a one-off shelf of some sort of ones that like that I really, really want to get that are outside of Star Wars. But other than that, I'll probably keep primarily like Star Wars still. But I do have my eye on a few other ones. So I've been slowing it down a little bit in that regard too right now, because there's other figures like Moon Knight's another one that I would really like to pick up because that figure just looks awesome. So I'm going to venture out a little bit. I haven't decided when. We'll see.
Yeah, and Mike brings up a great point. In 8 months in 47, I won't keep this pace though, I don't think. Just hit hard when I first start. I think that's what a lot of people do, is they really hit it hard when they start, and then you start learning how to manage the hobby and what's going to give you longevity, and then you start slowing down. Like I was getting, well, at first it was like a figure a week, then a figure every couple weeks, and you know, I kept that pace for a while. Now I'm down to like maybe a figure, maybe a month, maybe every other month and a half, something like that, just because I know I can't keep that pace up. So definitely be careful when you first start, because people typically tend to go hard, and sometimes they tap out.
I remember D-Lo's story about how like he started out like you start out fast, right?
100 figures.
Yeah, I was pretty similar. Like I started out October 2022, and like I said, like it's really hard when I sold all my Black Series stuff and had just a bunch of, you know, funds to be able to fund my the Hot Toys. So I like, you know, I ended up saving some of that, but like yes, I went really fast at the beginning too. But yeah, I'm with Mike on as far as, you know, being a little bit more selective at this point.
I gotta find this photo. It's somewhere in the Six Scale Scavengers group on Facebook. I posted like my biggest haul. You know how we all used to have you know, my haul photo and all like that. Like I had, gosh, in 1 week I think I had maybe, I want to say like maybe 14 figures in
Can't
one
even
week.
enjoy them at that point.
Oh, I enjoyed the hell out of it at that time because it was beautiful. You know, year one, it's like
intense, yeah.
I'm invincible. But yeah, I remember I look back at it now. I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? But I had I got to find the photo. I posted it in Six Scale Scavengers. I got to look through and find it there. But yeah, 14 figures, and I'm thinking to myself, like, how did I even unbox that many figures? I know I did. I know I definitely did, but I don't know how I did it. I don't remember how much I paid, but I cringe now just thinking about that.
Oh man,
So-
dude, that makes me sad because I have so many figures in boxes right now that I need to open.
Oh man.
And then I saw your post, DLO, that of like you were selling some like troopers. I know one of them was like that Jetta Patrol 2-pack, and I'm like,
Yeah, man.
I felt sad for you, man.
No, honestly, it's not one of those things for me. This was really
Yeah, I
one of
get
those
it.
where I have a clear vision. Now that I have my cases now, I have a real clear vision of what I want. And, part of the journey is, letting somebody else enjoy the figure at a time. I don't think, honestly, the way my thinking on this has evolved so much. There were so many times where I said, when I bought something, like, I'll never get rid of this. I'll never sell this. I'll never. And the truth is just that I feel like that's not entirely true. Once you get to doing this a little bit more, I think not necessarily you're not tired of the figure, but you're you should loosen your stance on that there, because you understand in order to continue, sometimes there's no more, tier, 5 figures anymore. They're all tier 1s. They're all the grails, right? And eventually, once you're done selling the ones that you're not that crazy about, then you make the real calls there. And now it becomes a question of, do I keep it because it holds value, or do I let it go because the next step in my collection is more valuable than that figure? And as much as it's going to pay me, if I had the room, it wouldn't even be a question of it there. But if I'm going to be disciplined with myself and hold myself accountable, then you got to let go of those figures. And that's just how it is. And as long as they're going to a good home at this stage of career and no one's lowballing me, someone's going to enjoy that. So, but yeah, it was a great time, but now I got a really good idea of where I want to take the collection next. And I'm excited to do that. And I'm excited to move on to the next chapter with new figures. Let somebody else enjoy mine.
Always great insight from DLO The Collector. Mike Litteris with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Thanks for the great convo, as always, boys. Appreciate any super chats that I get. Again, goes right back into the channel, helps me keep going with this stuff. Equipment, StreamYard, figures, all that stuff. So I do appreciate you guys supporting the channel in any which way. So thank you, sir. He also says, my review of the tumbler is what made him pull the trigger when he saw it pop up on Sideshow Seconds. Awesome. Brick is getting Carnage tomorrow. So congrats to you, sir. I know he's really excited about that. And Mike says, you guys see Maju Cases has a lighting control hub supposedly coming later this year. That'll be a game changer for Maju collectors. That will be nice. That'll be sick.
It's coming in November.
Fantastic.
I reached out to Brian about that actually, because like my order is supposed to come like September. And like they're piloting it right now, I think, and like it's gonna be like RGB and stuff like that too, so you can change the colors.
Hilo, we're gonna have to relight our cases.
So I was like, do I like wait and say like I want my cases later? But no, they're gonna be available.
Brian,
I know they're gonna be available separately too. So
mind if you're lurking?
Still have the plastic on my LED strips that are mounted. Let's talk.
Let's return.
I want that RGB for sure.
It's gonna be nice.
So, since Action in the Box brought it up in the chat, and I know you guys brought it up, let's finish with this topic here tonight. So, do you believe in curating your collection? So that could be like DLO said, getting a different vision for what you had, selling some things to fund, new things, or maybe your feelings change on that figure and you just want to get something else. I want to start with Marco on this one because I know he doesn't like selling figures too often. So what's your stance on curating your collection?
So when you say curating, is this being selective in terms of what you're bringing into the collection, what's coming out? Like what is the definition of curation?
I guess what does it mean to you? So what does curating your collection mean to you, and do you believe in it? Let's go with that, because it doesn't have to be just moving figures out.
Okay, fair enough. So I guess my framework is I've begun to view this as an art gallery, really. Like all of my spaces to display are an art gallery for me. And by that, they're kind of an extension of things that I love. So I'm not going to, love every single figure or the property that figure comes from, but it means something to me, right? And so I would say the curation comes in that every piece that I've added to my collection to put on display has some type of sentimental value to me in some type of way. And if it no longer has that value, then it probably needs to leave the collection. I think I've sold 2 figures, and just at the time they just weren't speaking to me. So it was like, and one of them was Director Krennic, which I know a lot of people may view as a grail, but it's like that wasn't necessarily something that I needed in my collection. It no longer met anything in my art space, and so it had to move along. So yeah, I think that curating your collection is something that you absolutely have to do, or else you're just collecting willy-nilly with no focus whatsoever, and you really have no guiding principles of what you're adding to the collection. And so yeah, if you're not thinking about it holistically in terms of like, okay, I've only got a finite number of spots to display these pieces of art, then I think you may be doing it incorrectly, or you may need to tighten things up just a little bit.
Yeah, and I guess for me, when I think of curating, just so everybody's clear on what my thought process is, it's keeping the display like organized and fresh. And to me, a lot of the times it means moving figures out to bring those figures in that you're having that new mindset for. Like it's almost like pruning I think I brought this analogy up once before and it didn't really go over that well, but it was like, it's like pruning a bush, right? Where you clip off the dead branches, like to you, like the ones that don't mean anything anymore. Like maybe you're into Mando, but you're into like the main characters, and like the transport trooper is just not doing it for you. So you're kind of like, I want to move that one out, use that space for something that I really like, or use the funds for something that I really like. So to me, like that would be like curating your collection, is getting rid of the figures that maybe don't mean as much to you anymore, or never did. And maybe they were just like maybe you just bought them because you saw them in a store and you're like, oh yeah, I gotta have that. So that's what it means to me. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think it means to you, and if you believe in curating, and I'll go with you, DLO, next.
Yeah. I've gotten out of that mindset. I think curating it's important. It's supposed to evolve. I think it's supposed to be something that seems like a distant potential, goal to be completed there, but you still have a way to go. And, I kind of compare it to, I'm not collecting to create a museum of my figures. I'm collecting to build a showcase of my collection there. So, and that means there can be different showcases, different phases of it there. But I think the end journey is not as ever going to be clear to a collector, because there's always going to be a new idea, a new thought, a new process to that there. And sometimes that means figures need to come, figures need to go, and stuff like that there. So I think at the end of the day, it's just important to work within the means of what you have space-wise, and trying your best to maximize the vision that you have for it there. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be some bumps along the way, but I think if you're constantly attempting to get better with what you want your collection to be, I think curating a collection is the best way to go about it there. You got to have a game plan at all times, or else the hobby is going to suck you up and leave you broke.
Yeah, scary stuff there, but
not that scary.
He had me with suck me up, but then the go broke I didn't like. So.
Sorry.
How about you, EvilSneakerr? I know you're maybe you're not even to this point yet, but you if you're looking at a collection and not specifically Hot Toys, you've already curated your collection.
Yeah. So I mean, I think like, do I believe in it? 100%. I mean, I feel like, coming from kind of going off what you said about, switching to Hot Toys, like, and you talk about burnout, like, Black Series, like I was pretty much burned out on that because I was collecting everything. There were all these new repacks, repaints, and I couldn't keep up for one. So I basically just got bored of it. And I was like, I just want to kind of take this to the next step of, you know, getting into something different. Went to Hot Toys. And the beauty of Hot Toys is, yeah, like you guys have been saying, you're not going to collect everything. It's just not going to happen, which is honestly a nice thing for me to get over of like, yeah, I'm not just going to buy every single figure that comes out. So you have to curate and you have to think about how you're going to collect basically. And I think too, like for me, I've already kind of like started doing that. And like, I got a lot of figures quick, but I already kind of have like, I'm always thinking about like the long-term game plan. How many figures am I going to end up with? I think about too, like something for me as far as curating goes is like, you know, I have 2 boys and one of them's like going to be 4 in November and he's like starting to get really into the stuff that I'm into. And I think like I want to share that with him too. So I think like from that standpoint, like, yeah, I'm probably going to like curate things to revolve around that as well. So I like to think that I, you know, consider the big picture. As far as like selling off figures, I don't love selling figures, but that's not to say that I would rule that out. Another thing is like, I just want my module cases already. That's like the biggest, that's like the biggest thing. Like that opens up just like, cause I have there's more figures in boxes right now that I like more than what I have in my cabinets that I want to get out. And I'm just not going to I don't have time right now to take the hours it's going to take me to put stuff back into boxes, get this new stuff out. Like I'll just wait until whatever, August, September, and then spend 2 more months building my cases. Basically.
When did you place your order?
I placed it in January, and it was initially slated June, July, and then it got pushed to August, September. But I just got an email that said shipping update that it's going to ship in like the batch is going to hopefully ship in sometime in August.
Okay.
So hopefully, but like, yeah, as far as like, I mean, I see you guys with your Maji cases and like Graham, like you said, like for you, it's like keeping things fresh and switching things up. Yeah, like I really like that. And I think another thing is there's always new figures coming out from different eras. And I think keeping things fresh and moving things around, I'm kind of like that as far as like, I don't want to just keep things the same all the time. So I think, yeah, when I get my cases, there will be that going on. So yeah, that's what I would say about that. I think like Marco said, you have to, like DLO is like a prime example of like, yeah, you want to build a showcase, right? So I always say I like DLO's insight on this channel because like, you know, long-term buttering up DLO a little bit, buttering up DLO a little bit, you know, like you have to have that mindset. It's really important if you're going to get into like, for me, at least, maybe not some other people, but the volume of figures that if you're going to be collecting a high volume of figures, you have to have that mindset that you're going to make changes along the way. Or else you're probably like, to me, I don't know how long I would last if you're not willing to change things up. So yeah.
I think the other part is too, is I don't necessarily like selling figures and I've cut down quite a bit, but there's 2 things that happened to me and I've gotten a lot better about them. And that's probably why I don't sell as much. I'd see something in hand or in person and I'd be like, ooh, that's really cool. Cause all these figures are awesome, whether we like the character or not. So I'd be like, yeah, I think I like that. And then I get it. And then it didn't hit like I thought it maybe would. But then also too, there's a figure that's hyped up that I think I'm going to love, but maybe it's just like, you know, it's just after time, it doesn't do it for me. Maybe the value is there, but not the love for the character. And then something else comes along like a DeLorean or something like that. And then I'm like, well, it's got to go so I can finance this DeLorean. So I think those 2 things happen. I've gotten better at that, but like in the beginning or towards the beginning, it was definitely more of willy-nilly, let's just buy whatever. And I think I like that. And I've cut that down quite a bit, but every once in a while, because being selective is hard, but every once in a while I slip up. Maybe I've gone a while without buying something and just you see something on a deal rescue and you're just like, yeah, let's get it. And then you can't turn it down. So it happens. Let's see here. So yeah, Brick does say Marco and Sneaker need to come back so I can chat. So yeah, it was funny because Brick knew he couldn't be here, and he didn't know who was on the panel at all, and he's just like, you know, next week when I'm back, let's get EvilSneakerr on there.
Yeah.
Well, I've been chatting with Brick a little bit.
Yeah. I'm like, well, actually, he's going to be on the show, so Sorry. He was like, damn it, what the hell? Like, but just kind of funny. Let's see. Yeah, Mike says it's like buying a Manscaped razor. The better groomed, the more you can see and appreciate. Although weird, he's
Man,
not
Mike,
wrong.
that's a good one. I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty good.
He's not wrong. So, any other thoughts you guys want to chime in here for curating your collection before we move on?
Yeah, shout out to Evil for shouting me out. Graham, season 2 Wolfpack Wednesday is getting expensive by the minute for you with all these compliments EvilSneakerr's throwing at me tonight.
You're like, I require 5 compliments per show. Make sure you meet the quota.
Dude, I've been watching.
Price just went up.
I'm pretty sure I've been watching Wolfpack Wednesday since it started. You know, so it's
Yeah,
yeah.
appreciate that.
You deserve it, man.
Thank you. Hear that, Graham? I deserve it.
Graham, you deserve it.
You do.
too.
I love having
Marco,
you.
I've actually seen some of your stuff more like lurked on your channel and like caught some stuff. But yeah, no, I enjoy all your guys' stuff.
Appreciate you.
We got to get Marco loose.
You're welcome back anytime.
I want Marco
thanks,
throwing F-bombs like he does on his channel.
I want a not so
Seriously,
lovely. I want a
still
not so
reserved.
lovely rant, dude.
There you
He's
go.
got the
All right.
dirty mustache going on, but not one F-bomb tonight. What's that about?
Yeah, I know. There's some type of disconnect. So next time, I'm warmed up now. I'll be ready to rock. We'll do a real rant next time.
Respect.
All right, so lastly, we're going to do fixated figure time. And this is a figure. We're going to kind of end the show with this. This is a figure that, you guys are fixated on either getting, you've gotten, it's on its way. You're just looking for a deal. It's just, again, what it sounds like, the figure that you're fixated on. I'll start with me because it's already here. And I showed you guys already kind of in the beginning. But in the dark background here, you can see we got a DeLorean.
Please don't drop it.
There's proof. So that's the vehicle I'm actually fixated on. If Delos comes tomorrow, hopefully he knows sooner rather than later. We're gonna do a live unboxing. Are you good with tomorrow night?
If it comes in tomorrow, we're doing this.
Okay, because we want to open it. I don't want to sit all.
Yeah, I just
for a
want to
week.
open it. So if I gotta do it live with you to unbox it, oh well, I'll do it.
Yeah, so if you guys, if that would interest you guys out there in the chat, just hanging out with us tomorrow night, probably around the same time, just watching us open this up, try to put it together, our thoughts, kind of watching two guys get giddy over a vehicle.
You're gonna love it.
Come join
honestly.
us.
That vehicle
Giddy
is
is the
awesome,
perfect. Yeah, it's incredible. Honestly, giddy is the perfect way to describe it. Because like DLO was saying, when you first start collecting, it feels like a bit more special. After you've opened your 50th figure, it kind of loses a little bit of luster. But opening that thing, I just felt like a kid, and so I'm excited to see your reactions.
Oh man, I can't
That's what
wait.
it's all about. That's what
I
it's all
can't
about
wait.
right there, man.
Marco, you have
Exactly.
yours in hover?
I don't have it in hover. I tested the wheels, but I've just got it on the ground. Maybe someday I'll do a hover, but for me, just the normal setup is perfect.
Any pointers? Any tips?
Yeah.
I think, folks were saying pull the wheels from behind. So instead of
Yep.
just grabbing the wheel, right, you kind of put your fingers behind and
Right.
pull out like that. And then I would just say take your
Kinda
time.
push and they pull.
There you go. And then putting on those bumpers, I would just say take your time. I got very frustrated. I was sweating. I was like, I should not be working up a sweat trying to put on plastic bumpers. Well, I
This
think they're
stream is
natural
over.
metal.
We're gonna do it off camera.
That's right.
Party's over. Good night.
That's right. I didn't do it on a stream though because I was afraid. I was like, if something's wrong, I'm going to throw a tantrum here. So yeah,
So we'll
cannot
do
wait
it.
to see your. All right,
we'll
you'll
do it.
Heck yeah.
And do you have Back to the Future 1 or Back to the Future 2 figures with yours?
I've just got the 2.0 Marty, and that's a great figure. Honestly, he's short, but really love that. So I've got him on the skateboard, kind of checking out his watch, and I want to add a dock, but I feel like I want to hold out for 2.0s of the Part 2. I think that they're going to do those eventually. So
I think you're
I
right.
think I'll
I
hold
sold mine. I sold mine recently. It's crazy to think I'm going to get a Part 2 DeLorean tomorrow, and I don't have any figures for that. I sold them knowing I was going to get this, but I was like, there's going to be a 2.0. There's going to
You
be.
would
Let me
assume,
sell what I
right?
can. But, that's the
Cool.
thing. When I think I'm clever and I'm going to beat Hot Toys at their own game, like I'm going to wait 6 years for the 2.0s to come out.
exactly.
So Dilo, I might know the figure, but I just know you so well. What's the figure you're fixated on?
Ooh, geez, gosh, so many.
Gee,
Yeah. Let me think. Yeah, it's my DeLorean that's coming in tomorrow.
Woohoo!
Actually, I
You
pulled
gonna be
up
there to sign
tracking.
for it?
No, unfortunately, I can't. I gotta work. Daddy's gotta make the donuts. But
You're gonna leave a note?
I swear to God, my wife is working from home tomorrow, and
Okay.
I've already had to talk. Like, hey, if the dog starts barking, check the door. Check the door.
This ain't rocket science. Just get up and go.
Sign, grab. If you can't lift it, if it's too heavy, tell him to gently place it and you slide it in. Okay. Very important details. She's like, I fucking hate you. I'm like, thank you. I love you so much, honey. So much. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm super excited. She's going to sign for it. That's a huge gamble on my part. But Daddy's got to make the donuts, like I said. So yeah, it's in Jacksonville now. So that's about 3.5 hour drive for me here. So push comes to shove. Any complications, just hop in the family wagon, meet them halfway, whatever. But man, I'm excited. Yeah, we're gonna have this done tomorrow.
So UPS said 1:15 to 5:15 for me. I'm like, okay. That never
here we go.
happens. I don't know why you give me the window when you're never in the window. And of course, the whole afternoon, I'm like making sure I'm not in the basement and peeking out the windows, kind of like my short video I did the other week. But then I went to Brick's house, who lives across the street and one over, and because his family's in town, that's why he's hanging out with them. But his family's my wife's family, so we were over there too. But I'm literally, because the road comes behind his house, so I'm literally like peeking out, looking for UPS. And 6:30, I finally see him, and I'm like, tell the wife, I'm like, I gotta go home. I gotta sign for this. So I see him. He's at the next house. I quickly run home, and I even had a note on the door that says, please leave it. If you're not okay with that, call me and I'll run over. I'm just at the neighbor's house. And so I got there. I'm just waiting in the garage like I've been there. I'm like, hey, how's it going? So what is this,
Tried
a
to
toy
play it
car?
cool.
I'm like, yes, toy car. Yep.
Did he really call you out like that?
Well, he's
Really?
like, oh, looks like somebody got a toy car. I'm like, yep. I'm like, just pretty much like, give it here. Just
It's for my kids.
yeah.
That's right. Why are you so sweaty? Oh, gosh, the cops.
Just really happy for my kids.
God.
But all right, so we share the same figure that we're fixated on, and I know
Yeah.
we've been talking about this live stream for a couple weeks, so we're gonna get it done. We're gonna hang out, and EvilSneakerr, what's the fixated figure for you?
I gotta
You
go.
might have mentioned it.
Did I?
Maybe. If
Maybe.
it's, I know you said Carnage, but I don't know if it's still Carnage.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna get it at some point, but the one that comes to mind when you mentioned this was like probably the one I'm looking the most forward to is the Vader from Kenobi. Like I want to see this like battle damaged head sculpt in hand. I mean, I'm 100% gonna be posing mine like that, but that one is like, yeah, that figure is looking like it's gonna be really good. So that'd be the one that I would say. But yes, Carnage. I can't escape Carnage. It pops up everywhere.
Yeah.
Like this, he's a true example of my phone listening, because every social media thing I go on, Carnage pops up on every single day. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to buy it at some point. But yeah, I'd say Kenobi Vader. Really looking forward to that one.
That's awesome. If I had a second figure, it'd be the 1966 Batman. I've been looking for that for so long. And now that I got the prank villain coming, I really need him. But
What is he running right now on the market?
66?
66. Yeah.
There's not a lot out there, to be honest. It's mostly you'd have to buy him and Robin, and then you're looking at well over a K. But I am watching one that's 500. But again, something else would have to go at that point. So I don't know.
I
might
regret
just-
selling those two. I really do. At the time, it was just like I was collecting like Justice League, and here's beefy Batman, and Christian Bale over here, and then you got like colorful Adam West and Robin. It's just like, these don't really fit as much as I like them. I'm gonna sell them, and now it's like the latest. Everybody's going gaga over these figures now. So I definitely did not get a cape for Batman and Robin when I sold mine. Let me tell you, crazy.
All right, Marco. What's the figure you're fixated on?
Yeah, so I've got a few. I've got some tabs open on a few things, but I will say the in-art Gandalf is one that I've been thinking about for a while. I am getting that Aragorn. I'm a moderate Lord of the Rings fan, but I'm definitely not a fanatic. And
Same.
so I'm like, I would want Legolas as well when that dropped. But it's like, will I regret not going and getting a Gandalf? I'm sure they'll do a Gandalf the White eventually, but who knows? You know, at the pace that InArt's moving, could be a while. So it's one that I've had my finger over the pre-order button because it came back in stock at 1/6 kit. And yeah, I don't know how much longer those are going to be around. I would assume for a while. But yeah, I just haven't compelled myself to pull the trigger yet, but I'm tempted every single day.
Really quickly, how do you feel about InArt's speed? Are you happy that they'll, just want them to get it right, or are you getting annoyed that it's just, becoming so slow? What are your quick thoughts on that?
I'm not necessarily annoyed by the speed. I do want them to get it right. And honestly, I'm a bit relieved because when I saw that phase 1 lineup and there was a lot of DC on there, I was like, oh no, like I'm going to want a lot of these. And how do I fit it in with all the hot toys and all the, the third parties that are improving? And so the fact that they've given us a bit more time to plan on how to, integrate them into the figure buying process, I'm okay with it. But hopefully they do release the Batman at some point this year. Even if it just releases overseas, that will be the canary in the coal mine that is coming out to us, within the next 6 months, hopefully. So I would love to see that figure released sometime soon.
Sounds good. Sounds like we got some really good figures that we're fixated on at this point. So that will just about do it. The great conversations have led me to save a lot of my topics for future weeks. So thank you all for great convos. I appreciate DLO, you being on each and every week and just making the time to be a part of the Wolfpack Wednesday. And I appreciate, EvilSneakerr, your first time on the show. I hope you had fun.
Oh yeah, man.
It was a pleasure.
Blast. Appreciate you having me on for sure.
And Marco always having my back, being there for me when I call upon him. So I appreciate you and love having you on the show as well. So thank you.
Anytime. Appreciate you.
Guys, appreciate you in the chat as well. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for just chatting in general and being a part of our conversation. Thank you for supporting my channel, but I got to ask you to support my friends' channels as well. You can find the links to DLO The Collector, EvilSneakerr, and 16Fix, their YouTube channels, their Instagrams, all in the description here below. Give them a shout out on their channels and go support them too, because these are some of the finest guys in the community and you can't go wrong with that. Again, thank you guys for being on the show. Thank you for making the show so much fun. We'll be back probably tomorrow night. So I'll get I'm just going to get the thumbnail out. I'm going to set it up. And if for some reason we got to cancel, I'll let you guys know on YouTube, but we're going to plan for it. So same time tomorrow, we're going to hang out, drink a beer, and unbox a DeLorean. 2 DeLoreans, actually. So
exciting stuff.
Nice.
I know. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.
Wolfpack, baby.